Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. It all went a little bit green there, didn't it? But we are live now. We've got the predicted team news there. We're sponsored by the OneFootball app. Thank you to them. You can download it. The link is in the video description. It's free on Apple and Android. Get all your latest news, football news, stats, man of the match votes, everything. We'll be doing that throughout the stream, but it is currently 4-0 to Chelsea in the game against Everton, and which you can read many things into. You could read a lot into that. You could say, well, why didn't United do this last week? Which is what I felt we should have done. I think when we got back to level, we should have gone and beaten Everton. I think we had the beating of them, and we didn't do it. That's in the past. The future means that we've got to beat Man City now. A thoroughly comprehensive result. And George Roper says Everton were just crap. And I think we've seen today that I really didn't think that Chelsea would do that. I've got to be honest. I thought that United we would be chasing. I thought they'd get a draw, but that hasn't happened. Chelsea have won. They've boosted their goal difference. It's not over if we don't win today, but 6 points behind with not a lot of time left, 9 games left. It will make it quite difficult for us. I think we've got to get something today. And I still think if we do get something today, then top 4 is definitely still very much on, because 3 points on Chelsea. Look, it's still a bit of a gap, but Chelsea have still got some tough games to come. I think Chelsea on their day are a very good team. I've said this before, but I'm a little bit disappointed by Chelsea today, but the team news is there. Now, the interesting thing is this is not the official team news from Manchester United yet. I've got to clarify that. It's not the official team news. There's been, as per usual with Manchester United, there's been a bit of leakage. That's what it sounds a little bit gross, doesn't it? But there has been a bit of leakage with the team. I predicted that it would be a back 5 today, and I don't think we can start saying 3-5-2 when we're going to play Man City. It will be predominantly a back 5 because they're going to have at least 60% possession. So it will be a back 5. I predicted that when Brandon Williams didn't start against Derby. And it appears that it was right. However, there has been a bit of a change to the team because it was initially McTominay playing and not Matic. Now, I don't know whether that means that McTominay will start or the late change is true. And I don't know whether that means that McTominay has got an injury. I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. And we'll have the answers to that in the next couple of minutes or so. So, yes. So we do have a timer today. Chill out. Don't have a cow. We will have a timer for you today. And we're all set up, which is good. And when does the match start, says Gurram? Well, Chelsea is still playing at the moment, and it's currently 4-0 to Chelsea. So yeah, it's only words, and words are all I have. But Manchester United will hopefully be getting a result in the game today as well for us, because we need it. Everton, it's the bloody pink kit, says JS. Is that pink or is it orange? It's not very nice, is it? I hope we have a lucky win, says Rayan. Look, to be honest, Matic signed a new contract last night, and I've just seen somebody talking about that in the live comments, and it would be remiss of me, Ahmed P, to not mention it. This is an extension because Matic was basically free to leave in the summer, so it's an extension, it's another year. It's not as dramatic as a 5-year contract for a 32-year-old. It's a new contract for somebody who I think over the last 5 weeks has been fantastic. And to be honest with you, if McTominay had started today, I would have said, as much as I like McTominay and as much as I prefer McTominay over Matic, I would say that this game is... Matic deserves to play. Big test for Bruno against a high-quality midfield in City. The game will be won and lost in the midfield 3, I think, and I'm predicting a 2-0 win for United, says Josh Sutton. We certainly have got the players in the midfield to cause them some problems, haven't we? We have. I really do believe that, and I'm really hopeful that we will do that as well. But let's have a look and let's have a see how it goes. Team news will be coming in for you very, very shortly. In fact, it should be coming in now, so let's have a quick look at that as it comes. Multitask, click the wrong button. There we go. Manchester United, give us the team news. It's okay. And it is the team as we've predicted there. It's De Gea, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka and Matic. Williams obviously in the back five as well. Matic, Fred and Bruno as the midfield three. And Dan James and Anthony Martial as the front two. On the bench, you've got Romero and Eric Bailly with Twansibi, Mata, McTominay, Greenwood and Ighalo. So no injury issues there with with Scott McTominay just on the bench, not starting the game. Eric Bailly and Twansibi, the subs. Defensively, Mata, McTominay, the midfield subs, and Greenwood and Ighalo as the attacking substitutes. Dan James coming into the team. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. So we've got a lot to digest in relation to the Manchester United news today, and we'll certainly be doing that for you. I just want to have a quick look at the Manchester City team news. If we can just check that out, that would be nice. Let's have a look. Man City. I know they've got a Twitter account. They've got loads of followers on Twitter. They've obviously bought them because they haven't got loads of fans. Manchester City lineup then. No De Bruyne, not even on the bench. It's Ederson, Cancelo, Otamendi, Fernandinho, Zinchenko. You can definitely get at that back four. Rodrigo, Gundogan, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Sterling and Aguero. So no, Mahrez is on the bench. David Silva is on the bench. Jesus is on the bench. Kyle Walker on the bench. And I just, you know what? I think what we're up against here, I don't know what you lot think. I think what we're up against here is a system. When you look at that Manchester City side, if they didn't have Pep Guardiola in charge, I'd be like, why can't we beat them? Why can't we beat a team that's got Cancelo, Otamendi, Fernando and Zinchenko as a back four? A midfield of Rodrigo, Gundogan and Foden? We can beat that. Bernardo, Silva, Sterling and Aguero is very good, but I think we're up against the system here today, and I would be somewhat embarrassed if we lost to them today, because I think this is a big opportunity for Manchester United to go and get the result, and I hope that we do. Why not Ighalo starting instead of James, says Toby Reddington. I think what United are doing today is trying to utilise pace. If you look at the game at the Etihad, we gave up a lot of possession and we hit them very much on the break. So I think that's what we're trying to do today. Jordan Such says, hi Mark, hope you're well. Spurs under Jose beat City, so a result is certainly a possibility for us today. I agree, Jordan, with a home side. I don't think that's a particularly strong City side, and I think that we can win. I do think we can win, and I think that's the attitude we've got to go into. I said it was a bit of a bonus game, but the Chelsea result, if anybody's not aware, Chelsea are winning 4-0. That puts them 6 points ahead of us. And Pepper, I couldn't see what it said quickly. Somebody just said top four's gone. Top four's not gone, but I do think we need to get a result today. I mean, even a draw would mean we were 5 points behind Chelsea. So I think we've got to win today, and I think that we've got to try and dictate the play in our way. So yeah, look, no Lingard on the bench and no Pereira on the bench. Saddam Hussein. That's quite interesting as well. Chelsea destroying Everton, says Kaplan. I think that will leave. That's going to leave us in a situation whereby at the end of this game we're going to know how good we are, because I think we thought that was a good result against Everton last week. I personally thought it was 2 points dropped at the time, and I stand by that. Why isn't Pogba playing, says Andrew Dillinger? Because he is injured. Nice to see you, Mark, says Alvin Blocks. Nice to see you as well. Mark, simmer some Travis Scott, says Luca. I'm not in that mood at the moment, Luca. I might be if we win, but I'm not in that mood at the moment. Everton, maybe. Oh no, it's blocked out. Bruno and Martial are going to score, says Janav Gosh. So, Everton nearly scored there. So, Dan James coming into the team is quite interesting. Of course, we've not mentioned this. We've not been live that long, but 3 players potentially missing this game before the game, which was Wan-Bissaka, Dan James and Harry Maguire, all 3 of them starting. So, are all 3 of them 100% fit? You would hope so. But interesting that Dan James is starting, and I think Dan James is starting for one reason and one reason only, and that is pace. And I think it's a risk, but I think if it comes off, it will cause Man City problems. What Ollie is going to try to do today, and people don't like it, but I'm going to spell it out for you. We are going to hit City on the break. That's what we're going to try and do, and that's why Dan James is in the team. Mark, we never dictate the play. We will play counter-attacking football and depend on the opponent to make a mistake, says Red Baron. Exactly. I think that's exactly what we're going to do at Old Trafford today. Dan James lacks quality in the final third, says Sebastian Bodri. I think he does, Sebastian, but I think what we're trying to do here is just, literally City on the attack, quick long ball, 2v2, Dan James is quick, maybe he gets past and gets a one-on-one. I think that's as simple as we're trying to do today, yeah. Please do smash a like on the video if you're watching. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're trying to get up to 674,000 subscribers today, so thanks for that. And my score prediction, I tell you what, I look at that Manchester City side and I think that United can get something out of this game. So my score prediction today, I'm going to go United to win 2-1 because I think the Chelsea result we tend to mirror what Chelsea do. Like last week, Bournemouth, we drew with Everton so many times. So I think we'll go on, be typical that when Chelsea win, we actually bloody win. But we need to win. I think. What do you think? If we lose today, 6 points off top 4, 2 points behind Sheffield United as well, who have a game in hand, a point behind Wolves, we'd be down in 7th. Are we 7th at the moment? I think so. That's a bit of a drop off again. So Spurs away next week. I think that Chelsea could make it 5 here. What a tackle that is! It's not going to be 5. I think United have got to win today. Fitness Unscripted Sharath is a new member to the United Stand Members Club. Welcome, pal. I'm going 3-1 United, says Spooky Mysteries. And Gary Douglas says we could lose 3-1. Hopefully Williams comes off for Matter and Greenwood and we play 4-2-3-1, says Kaplan. What are your thoughts on that? 2 questions, really. We need a win now, says Sean Finity. I agree with that. What are your thoughts now? Do you think top 4's gone if we lose? And do you think we should have gone with 5 at the back? It's interesting that the best formation we played against Man City was at the Etihad, and we didn't play 5 at the back. We played 4-2-3-1. So here we are at Old Trafford again, playing a 5 at the back. And I believe the only time we've played 5 at the back against Man City was the Etihad game where we beat them 1-0. And that was one of the worst games we played, but we had 2 shots and we nearly scored with both. De Gea had a worldie. Charles Crane says, Bruno is key for me today. City will be ready for the counter-attack and their back 4 is vulnerable. 2-1 United. Happy International Women's Day, says Josh Sutton. Yes, to all the ladies out there, happy International Women's Day. And don't care about tactics. Give your all and win, says Soem Mukherjee. And we could do it. I hope we do, says Gary Dubler. And 7th is just not going to work if we want to go anywhere, says Zandovic. It's so tight. It's so tight around that 4th spot at the moment. Mark, you're still too optimistic because you're still crap, says Redstone. But I've learnt my lesson this season, Redstone, and I think many United fans have. We don't go into these games saying, we're going to get beat, because we've done this. We came into this game at the Etihad at Christmas and we're like, we'll definitely get beat. We deserve to win 2-1. So it would not surprise me if United played well and won today. And the Lindelof thing carries on as well. Let's just have a quick look. You can download the OneFootball app. They're sponsoring us today. Thank you for that. The link is in the video description. It is free to download. The good thing about the OneFootball app, as I upload it, and it does work, that's a good start. The good thing about the OneFootball app is that you can, at the start of the game, if you go into matches, you can vote for who's going to win, and you can see how every OneFootball app user who's voted has gone with. I'm going to go with a United win. Interestingly enough, you can go and vote there as well, and if you do vote, it might change it a little bit. There has been 155,000 votes so far. 52% are going with a United win, 5% with a draw, and 43% with a City win. So, of course, we've got all the Liverpool fans behind us tonight because they want City to drop points so that they can win the title before coronavirus stops the league. But yes, it's going to be interesting. And also, if you go into matches, you can get all your stats and everything during the game. I mean, just quickly, let me just have a look at the Chelsea-Everton stats. 60% possession for Chelsea. They've had 14 shots, 10 on target. Everton had 1 on target, and it just shows you that I think that was a missed opportunity last week for United. I really do. Links in the video description. Please do download the OneFootball app. And thank you to them for supporting us today. Turbitoon, I haven't heard from you in ages. I hope you're doing well. He says, do you attend at the training sessions? Sometimes the coaches decide to line up a strange first 11, like now with James, but no one of his fans see in the training. I don't attend training sessions. Not many people do get access to the training sessions because it's closed door training, unless it's like on the tour. They do open tour and all that, but I'll tell you what, the United Stand emblem's looking really clearer than normal today. I'm quite happy with that. That City team is so beatable, says Ross Gallagher. Would have preferred Ighalo to start over James, but let's get behind the team. Come on, United. And I think Ollie had decisions to make. And I think as a manager, you know, it's good when you've got decisions to make and you're not being forced into something. And I don't think we can play 3 up front at the moment. Well, we actually, you know what we could have done? With Dan James fit, we could have played 4-2-3-1, played a back 4. We could have played Fred and Matic as a holding midfield, Bruno in the same position he's playing, Martial down the middle, Greenwood down the right, and James down the left. So we could have done that, and Ighalo still would have been the bench option. So we could have done that. I think today, Ighalo, 2 goals in midweek, was probably, you know, a good shout to start the game. And I think a lot of people will, if it goes wrong, will say you should have started Ighalo. And this is high-end management. If he gets it right, he's a genius. If you get it wrong, why didn't you go with the form player? Dan James has not been in form. He's not been in form and he's injured. So you're picking Dan James over a player that's just scored 2 goals and is in form. In fact, he's scored 3 goals in the last week, hasn't he? You're picking Dan James, who's not scored in ages, has been bad for ages and has been injured, over Ighalo, who's banging form. If it works, Ollie takes the plaudits. If it doesn't work, he takes the criticism. That's how it works. I think he's just picked Dan James for pace. And a lot of people say Dan James is just, he is just Usain Bolt. He just sprints, that's it. But I think that's why he's picked him tonight. Also, Chelsea play before us next weekend. They play Villa away, so drop points today. By the time we play again, it could be a 9-point gap. So we've got to win. Games are running out, says Jordan Such. I think that's a very intelligent point from Jordan, as per, but it is spot on. I think Sir Alex Ferguson always used to say that momentum is key, isn't it? And you can get momentum. And also, momentum comes when you play first, especially in the last 10 games of the season. And unfortunately, he was always talking about winning titles. But although you both play on the same weekend, psychologically, if you play first, it might only really be a 3-point gap. But it's a 6-point gap before you play the game. And that's what we've got today. Really, we're only 3 points behind Chelsea when we've played the same amount of games. But we're not. We're 6. We're 6 because they've played their game. They've took their points. And I thought the way the results were going yesterday, with Wolves drawing and Spurs drawing, I thought, oh, you know what, it's going to be a good weekend for us. But that Chelsea result was the one. And I did expect Everton to do better than they've done. And I am disappointed. Jonathan Gambrell, James not forward. Ighalo should have started. See, I was just talking about that. And no Kevin De Bruyne for Manchester City. So Man City's team, I'll read it out to you, Man City's team. And it's vulnerable. Ederson in goal. Cancelo at right back, Fernandinho and Otamendi, Zinchenko at left back, Rodri, Gundogan, Foden, midfield 3. I mean, that's just not strong. I still think Man City's strongest midfield 3 is Fernandinho, David Silva and De Bruyne, so they're not playing any of those. Sterling, Bernardo Silva and Aguero is strong. I'll admit their front 3 is good, but I don't think their midfield is. But it's interesting how he's picked Foden today, and I do want to take a note of that somewhere. Phil Foden. Bill's his dad. Phil Foden starting today. I always think that Pep's a bit dismissive of playing the youth, but it's interesting in a game like this today that he is playing Phil Foden, isn't it? So that could really come back and bite us on the backside as well. We could lose out on top 4 by goal difference, says Mark Whitten. I don't know what the goal difference is, Mark. I think the goal difference was very good for United, but this win for Chelsea today really does give them a boost. In fact, I can check this out. I'll tell you what, I'm going to use the One Football app for this. Let's go to the Premier League. Let's have a look at the goal difference for you. Chelsea game's still going on. So, Chelsea currently on 48 points with a goal difference of 12, which is the same as ours. So, in one game, we had a better goal difference on Chelsea because, remember, we beat them 4-0. We've been living off that 4-0 for a long time on the opening day against Chelsea. Well, today, they've turned that round. And I think for Chelsea, it's not, they would have took 1-0 lucky win. But to win 4-0, their confidence is going to be absolutely huge now. And they don't play midweek, so they've got a week off. And they will have injured players coming back soon. Tammy Abraham's had another rest as well. So, Chelsea be very, very, very happy with that result. I thought Chelsea were vulnerable today. I hope lightning's not going to strike twice. because I think City are vulnerable as well. I don't care if we lose. I want us to try and dictate the play and play 1-2, says Red Baron. We're not going to dictate the play. We'll never say never, but I agree with the person who said that before. We won't be dictating the play in this game. It's not. It's just not. That's not how we will play it very well. I'm good, thank you. How are you, Sally? Says Rosie Smith. Rosie, you see, I've spotted your little chat with Sally. Good to see. What's up, Mark? Says Nicholas Jr. I'm all right. You know what? I'm all right. How are we feeling? I was speaking to Drawty about this today, and I spoke to you a lot last night on the Saturday night show. I think that the world at the moment is in a weird place. I think this has been the worst start to the year we've ever had. And remember when all those celebrities died about 3 or 4 years ago, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is a horrible year." I think 2020. Come on. When you were sat there eating your nut roast or your turkey on Christmas Day, and you're making all your plans for 2020. If somebody had told you what's going to happen, you'd have been like, "Forget this. I'm just staying in Christmas." Like, it's, we nearly had World War III. We've had all the floods. Now we've got the virus. There's been other things going on as well. It's not been good, and I think that for some reason, I think that there is some nervousness around what's going to happen, isn't there? Especially around football as well. So you can only do what's in front of you, and I think United have got to go and get something today. If you defend against City, City will win, says Demar Matadin. Well, I think you can defend against City and beat them on the break, and we have done that. We did it at the Etihad twice. We've beaten them at the Etihad twice. It's funny, isn't it? This is the 4th time we've played Man City this season. One at Old Trafford, where they beat us comprehensively, and twice at the Etihad, where we beat them. So the law of averages say they're probably going to beat us today, and but it depends how Pep's going to play it. I don't think he's going to play a false 9, is he? Mark, your lineup is wrong. It's not. It isn't wrong. And James says, "Do you read the comments?" I said, "You know what, Jamie Abalash? Do you actually open your ears? Because we've just spent the last 20 minutes talking about live comments. So don't make silly comments like that. The lineup is absolutely spot on. What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with the lineup. Matic plays. Matic, Bruno, Fred, William, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Shaw, Lindelof, James, Martial. Yeah, it's absolutely correct. Thank you very much indeed." We've had a super chat from Josh Sutton. He says 2020 in Australia, January nationwide fires, February nationwide floods, March coronavirus and toilet paper shortage. Natural selection over here. I think to tell you that Mark James will be our downfall. Mark my words, says Gelly Dahia, and Bruno will score in this match. And he means the formation is wrong, not the lineup. I don't think it's wrong. What are we thinking now then? Let's have a look what One Football app is saying, because this is what I normally get quoted. "Oh, the Man United app has got it as this. The One Football app has got it as that." Well, let's have a look what the One Football app has got for Manchester United as a lineup then. They've got 3-4-2-1, which is basically 5-3-2. So I'm not changing it for that. That's what they've got there. You can see it. 3-5-3-4-3. 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, 3-4-1-2, whatever. United are playing a 5-3-2 today. That's what we're playing. And if you don't believe me, you'll believe me after 10 minutes. Kickoff is at 4:30. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We're trying to get up to 674 today. Top right hand corner. That number will change when we do. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams after the game. Ricky messaged me on Twitter. He was like, "If Matic doesn't start, I'm going to be really upset." And I said to him, "You know what? I never thought I'd say this, but you'd be right to be so upset. He deserves to start." So, Ricky will be on the fan cam, Saeed, Adam, and probably a load of newbies as usual as well. So, yes, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Every night at 8 o'clock. Call in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Transfer news, previews, the lot. And obviously, most of our content is live, so you can interact with us as well. Hi Mark, any chance it's a 4-2-3-1 with Martial as a striker, Williams as a left winger and James as a right winger, says Sorafeed. I mean, I don't know why we have to think about wandering away from that, to be honest with you, but that might be the case, I suppose. It could be the case. What do you think to Matic being offered a new contract, says Louis Chef 1? I think he deserves it. I think he totally deserves it. I think he's been really good for United recently, so he does deserve it. And I think that hopefully we do bring somebody else in as well. But for the moment, he's been reasonably good for United. So yeah, I've been rather impressed with him, to be honest with you. Sorry, we're having a few problems with the stream there. I'm not going to bore you. I know why it was. It will improve now. So sorry about that. Just refresh. Your subscriber count isn't working, says Fian Burke. I tell you what. You know why the subscriber count doesn't work? Because basically it's controlled by Goldbridge PLC. I basically update it. So. But it does work because it's 673,000. We've not hit 674 yet. We're still 300 subscribers away. So bottom right-hand corner, please do subscribe. That would be absolutely fantastic. Chelsea have beaten Everton 4-0. Thanks for that iconic sniper. And goals galore today, Mark, says Tom O'Duff. What is your score prediction? What is your score? What are you thinking? What is your score prediction today? I think that... Look, it's a Manchester derby. I don't get it. Why do you think? Why do you think that Manchester United, Manchester City today is not such a big game? What is it? What's the big idea? What's going on? Like, what is going on? Why is it? Why are people feeling so indifferent towards the game? I mean, I'm excited about it, but I must admit, normally you'd be on a 10 on 10. Like, if United don't win, it's gone. Mark Muzzy Lion says, I'm quietly confident here, Mark. 2-1 to United. And Makuta says it's a 4-4-2 diamond. I tell you what, if it's a 4-4-2 diamond, how does that work? Where are your four midfielders for a start? Because we ain't playing four midfielders. So, and if we were playing with a diamond, McTominay would have started. 2-0 to United, says Elliot Hobday. 2-1 to United, says Terge. 3-1 to United, says Toussaint Levy. Harry Malik says 3-1 as well. I'm liking the positivity. And BT Footy has just subscribed to the channel. Thanks for that. You can do that bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much. It's 3-4-3 on the Premier League app. Do I look like I give a toss? Like, I couldn't give a damn if the Premier League app says it's a 2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2, whatever. I'm telling you it's a 5-3-2. I will stick by it. We get into these arguments about formations all the time. If it's different in the first 10 minutes, I'll change it. But I'm happy to say 5-3-2. What I'm also happy to see is a lot of people in the live comments are going with a United win. Southpaw Love Sport says, is Matic's new contract about a player showing his worth or just rewarding a purple patch of run of games? You know what, Southpaw Love Sport? She brought me into something I didn't really want to discuss. Because Matic has been playing very well at the moment. He got a new contract and I thought... Now is not the time to moan about it because I can't say, on one hand, he's been brilliant the last 5 weeks and then moan about him getting a new contract. The scenario is this. He's out of contract in the summer, so he's free to walk. We've given him a new contract. I think it's another year. It's the option of a further year that he can't stop us from taking. If we don't sign a centre defensive midfielder in the summer, it's a bit negative. If we do what we did with Mata, let's keep an ageing, declining player instead of buying a new player to help us grow, it is a little bit short-sighted. But hopefully we will still sign a CDM in the summer, but I don't think we will. 3-1 United and James to score is my bet, says Johan. You're not the first person to say you've got a bet on with a Manchester United to win it 3-1, to be honest. And Smithy says it as well. What I would say is we've done plenty of these match chat games, haven't we? And it's funny how sometimes, even going back to Van Hal, the team news would come in, people are going to meltdown and go, we're definitely going to lose, and then we win. So I always think before a ball has been kicked, the optimism or the negativism is there to be ignored, because so many times we've seen a crap team and we've won, and so many times we've been positive and lost. The game will take care of itself, of course. I do think United will win 2-1, and I do think that Dan James will be suited to a game like this because there should be space, and I think that's what Ollie is gambling on. And I think Wan-Bissaka playing is very important as well, because Sterling against Wan-Bissaka It's such an interesting, intriguing game. And I think some people, I call Wan-Bissaka titanium, and I think sometimes people think that if somebody gets past Wan-Bissaka, that means he's crap. Like, watch most fullbacks. You do get beaten sometimes, and it's the unbelievable consistency of Wan-Bissaka that people can't get past him, that people think, oh, when they do, he's awful. Most fullbacks get skinned, sometimes twice a game. So it's going to be very interesting with Sterling. And I think Bernardo Silva will suit. I mean, look, I've got to be honest, I look at that United back five and the goalkeeper, and I think, where's the weak spot, really? Look, Lindelof's a bit weak, but Maguire's been, but he's been very good this season, Lindelof. He's not terrible. I've got no problem with Lindelof starting, is what I'm saying. You've got Harry Maguire, been superb recently. You've got Luke Shaw's been superb recently. You've got Brandon Williams, has had a great first season at United. Wan-Bissaka's been brilliant. David De Gea, look, hopefully he doesn't make a mistake. And midfield's looking good as well. So there's lots and lots to be positive about. If we win, I'll post a video of me dancing to Lionel Richie, says Luke Haynes. Don't ever do that. Mark, you were saying getting anything out of this game is a bonus. Do you still think this with the result that Chelsea have got, says Jamal Mohammed? I think, look, it just shows you how football changes very quickly, doesn't it? Because I said after the Everton game that we've now got to beat Man City because we didn't beat Everton. And I think that's the truth. What I did say in the preview was that, look, this Man City game is a bit of a bonus because if we get something out of it, I still think there's plenty of points to be played for anyway. I don't think if we lose today, top four's gone. It becomes what's more important today. Look, you can't. What I'm saying is you can't predict it. You can't predict it because I genuinely didn't think Chelsea would win today. I watched Everton at Arsenal. They lost defensively badly, but they looked a good team. Against us, they looked a good team. Today, against Chelsea, they looked absolutely crap. So maybe my interpretation of what Everton is was wrong, but Chelsea have just gone and won 4-0. And to me, that's a concern because Chelsea have got a lot of players to come back. They're going to be out of the Champions League very, very soon. They can focus on top four. They're already in fourth. I'm worried about what Chelsea have just done today and whether they can now show some sort of consistency and the battle to get that fourth spot might be quite difficult. That's what's made me change my mind that I think we need to win today. We do, because I think if we don't, Chelsea will take a lot of confidence today. But if we can win, we stay on their coattails. Welcome to Henu, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Remember, you can do that by clicking the join button. You get a little badge next to your name, use the emojis, and also you get to put the questions for the podcast that we do each week on the community tab on the homepage. And Duncan Sell says, no idea why James is in the squad. Not only inept in possession and position, he's not even been quick recently due to burnout. Anonymity expected. I know what you mean. Quiet performance, invisible performance expected. Turbotune, I'm doing great, thanks. Hope you as well. What you think? How far is Garner away from the first team? Think he's doing well. Prediction 3-1 to United. No youth again to United, apart from Greenwood on the bench and Brandon Williams. But I suppose, people say no youth. I think, where's Garner? Where's Gomez? Where's Chong? But actually, I've just answered my own question there. Brandon Williams has come from nowhere this season, so it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Brandon Williams playing, Phil Foden playing. I'm very surprised that he's playing. Tim Z35 says, too many people think United are going to win. I'm afraid it will be an upset. City's still better football team with better coach. Glad to be wrong. And Georgie Best says, there is no consistency in our results. If we don't win today, we're out of top four. Very, very worrying. Just going back to that point from Tim Z35, I do think that today's game is about it's about coaching today. It's about tactics. I think when you look at both of those sides, then there's the United team. We know that the midfield of Man City is not as strong as it could be with no De Bruyne. It's Rodri, Gundogan and Foden. You look at their back four. You've got Fernandinho in it, Otamendi in it, Zinchenko in it, Cancelo in it. They're all vulnerable. So if you were looking at team versus team, you'd say United can win, but we're not. This is about coaching as well. This is where this game could be won and lost. And I think, as I said before, if we were to lose this game today, it would be quite embarrassing for United. I know we're missing Rashford and Pogba, but they're missing players as well. And we're at home. and we need to win. So the gauntlet's been laid down. I'm going 2-1. If we win today, it will be the first time we do the double against City in the league since Sir Alex Ferguson left. I think we'll be up for this one. Great show, Mark, watching from Miami, says Trav M. Thank you very much, pal. Please do share the video if you're watching. There's a share button underneath. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook. That would be appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed, bottom right-hand corner to do so. That would be great. The defensive midfield don't have any physical presence like a Pogba. We probably win, but full strength opposition, we can't play with these two. Chelsea overran our midfield when they made their tactical change, says Lavignac. It's interesting because look, there was this rumour that McTominay was starting the game, and then it was Matic. And when I saw it was McTominay, I said, that's really unfair. Matic should be starting. And when we played in the Carabao Cup in the early January game, and we were 3-0 down at half-time, and it could have been like 6-0, we brought Matic on at half-time, and he steadied the ship. Now, I have always said about Matic, he's slow, and he doesn't move the ball quick enough. And I still stand by that. I still think that they are his weaknesses. But what Matic has done really well over the last 5 weeks is just marshal the defence and do his job. And he's looked to play the ball forward quicker, which I think he desperately needed to do. But I've always said about Matic, and I said it about Fellaini as well, when you're playing against a team like Man City that have got small, low-gravity players who move the ball around quick, give and go, triangles, that's not good for a player who's 6'2" and slow. But Matic did play well against Man City in January. So did he play well because he played well, or did he play well because Man City took their foot off the pedal? We're going to find out today, because I personally don't think Matic suits a game like this at all. And there's not a lot of height in that Man City team. I mean, where is the height? Rodri's tall, but he's a CDM, so you won't be seeing him against Matic. You've got Sterling and Bernardo Silva and Aguero all small, Phil Foden small, Gundogan small. So they're going to be pinging the ball around, little 1-2s here and there. And Matic, technically could be getting bypassed, but I think he deserves to start. And maybe maybe that was a bit of an unfair thing. Hi Mark, it's Sam again. 4-0 City. United are poor. Sam Roberts. Thanks, Sam. And Akash says, see how situations for Matic and Fred were solved by playtime. Maybe we could have done the same with Gomez and Chong. Sorry to see them go. Oh, I agree. Oh, I definitely agree. Lingard played well in the 2-1 win. And no Lingard, no Lingard and no Pereira on the bench today. Which is interesting, isn't it? Not in a match day squad. I think that finally Ole Gunnar Solskjaer may have learned his lesson. I think he's tried the whole look. And what I want to say about Lingard here is that Lingard has come out and said that he's struggling. He came out in December and said that he was struggling with mental health issues. I'm not. You say mental health issues and people think really big mental health issues can just be feeling a little bit down. And he came out and he did that, and Ollie's kept playing him. I think maybe now we need to take Lingard away a bit from football. And I didn't notice straight away that he wasn't even on the bench, because the bench, for those who want to know it, is Romero, Bailly, Twansibi, McTominay, Mata, Greenwood and Ighalo. So no Pereira and no Lingard in a matchday squad. And when you think about it, when Rashford and Pogba come back, that's 2 more spots that aren't available there. And I saw that team and I was like, I didn't even think, no Lingard or Pereira. So that just shows you that Blocks CSGO says mental health issues aren't feeling down. I didn't realise we had a doctor in the room, mate. I suggest that you go and understand what mental health issues actually are. Somebody who feels down, i.e. depressed, etc., is a mental health issue. So, let's not go down that road, because it's dismissive to say mental health issues isn't just feeling down. The one thing about mental health issues is that you should be open to all of it. It's a very serious issue, and a lot of people suffer with it. So don't try and say it's not this, it's not that, because those sort of things are why there is a stigma around this and all sorts of things. So don't be dismissive about it and start saying it's not this, it's not that, because it's those sort of attitudes over the last 20 years that have made it very, very difficult for people who do have them, because they feel that feeling down, feeling a bit depressed isn't something that can, damage their mental health, and they should stay quiet about it. And the most important thing is that you don't stay quiet about it and that you actually talk about it. I think that with no Lingard and no Pereira in there, I wasn't shocked. I just didn't notice. But it is quite a big statement, and I think it's the right statement by Ollie. I think he's tried playing them into form, and I think he now needs to move on and, you know, go with what he's got. And maybe those players can come back in and perform. But I think just giving them more and more chances just hasn't worked. And, you know, in a way, maybe they'll play in the Europa League game midweek. Who is in your ideal three-man midfield at United, says Sal PDN. Look, I've always said, out of everybody who's fit at the moment, I like McTominay, Fred and Bruno because there's more mobility. But when I saw that initial team leak today, I was like, that's not fair on Matic. So I think he's got the midfield three right today. I really do. Long term, I would prefer McTominay over Matic because he's more mobile. But I totally agree with Matic playing today. And so, and I suppose that fits in with what I've been saying is like, I'm looking very short term with United at the moment. I'm looking game to game. I'm not looking long term because I think if you go too far long term, you get confused. Is Pogba staying? Is he not staying? When's Rashford back? Will Ollie be the manager next year? I think if you just stay short term and take it game to game, you know Ollie's going to be manager for the next game. You know we haven't got Rashford and you know we haven't got Pogba. So you just deal with the game in front of you. And I've found that quite enjoyable because I love watching United with Bruno in the team. And just focusing on the short term is enjoyable. I think as soon as you start thinking, oh, what about next season? Will Ollie be here? La, la, la. Will Pogba be here? I just think then you start to deliver stress onto yourself that you just don't need to do. Who is it? So, yeah. I mean, look, when Pogba's back, you know, do we even play with the midfield three? George Dobbin, why can't Ollie play Martial and Nagalo up top? I think that the two things when you look at that team on the left today, reading a lot of your comments, I think Dan James is the one that people aren't necessarily happy with. And I'm a big fan of Dan James. I feel he's been treated badly by the club. I think he was overplayed. But I do think if we lose today, the Dan James thing will go against Ollie. People will say you should have picked Igalo. How are you not picking a player who's scoring goals over a player that's been playing badly and injured? And Lindelof over Bay, look, that sort of rumbles a little bit, doesn't it? But I hope we win today, and I hope Dan James plays well, because I don't want to see Dan James being scapegoated again. And I think we need to remember this. Dan James doesn't pick himself. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer picks him. What do you think about Ollie saying Matic staying, says Chicharito Hernandez? Well, he was going to walk out the door for nothing. We had the option of a further year. We would have been stupid to not take that, not to take that further year. I don't know why I said that. The answer is pace, says Logcom. Exactly. I was talking about this a while ago. I know people join the stream gradually, but we have been live for coming up for 40 minutes, and I said this as soon as the team came out. The point is that what we're going to try to do today is soak up all the pressure of Manchester City and hit them on the break. It's like Man City have got the water gun. We're a sponge. We're just going to let them squirt us with water, soak it all in the sponge, and then just squeeze it in their face. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to try and do. So I think that the reason Dan James is playing is that it's very basic. I've got to be honest. I was trying to think of a nicer word. It's very basic, and we've done it a lot. And everyone says we've got a great record against the top five. But what did we do to beat those teams? Look at Chelsea on the opening game of the season. We've done it to City. We've done it to Liverpool at home. We've soaked the pressure up and hit them on the break. It's such an easy tactic. Let's just sit deep. Let's make it hard for them. And then when we get the break and they've left the gaps at the back, hit them quick. It's not rocket science, but it has been effective, and I think that's what we're trying to do today. Thank you for your responsible mental health advocacy, says Brian. And I just think an open discussion about it is the most important thing, because the last thing you want is people to hide away from it. Gilmore playing for Chelsea looks great. It's a shame we haven't given Garner a chance this season. Both are great prospects. What do you think, Mark? I'm surprised Garner hasn't played as much as I thought he would. I am surprised by that. Hello, Mark. 0.5 degrees up here above the Arctic Circle. Perfect day to watch Manchester Derby on the telly, says DJ John T. Enjoy it, mate. Enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Remember, we're sponsored by the OneFootball app today. The link is in the video description. Please do download it. You can get all your stats and pre-match stuff on there. Predictions on the OneFootball app, because you can vote who's going to win. If you have a look there, If you go to the page, you can see Man United versus Man City. On the matches bit, you can vote who's going to win. It's come down a little bit. 51% are saying that Manchester United will win, 5% are saying it will be a draw, and 44% are saying a Manchester City win. So that home advantage for United does stand true a little bit at the moment. But yeah, going to be very, very interesting indeed. Dan James will score because the gods are intent on Ollie not getting fired. So that's United. Remain rubbish, says Delaney A. And I feel this make or break match of the season, says Philip Hills. I tell you what, we've had so many make or break games, haven't we? I don't even want to call it that because I've said it so many times. It should be. I think when you are talking about big games, this should be the make or break game. And I think that I personally think that the Everton game last week was the mess up. I think if we'd beaten Everton last week like we should have done, we'd be in such a stronger position. But we can turn that around by winning today. Would you have preferred Bailly over Lindelof, McTominay over Matic, and Greenwood over James, says Varun Chanda? No, Varun, I wouldn't. I think that the Bailly Lindelof one, personally, I would have played Bailly, but it's not keeping me awake at night. I think it's closer than people think. I think I would prefer Bailly, but Lindelof's been quite steady. And Greenwood over James, I think he's playing for pace, isn't he? I think Agallo over James is better. Matic over McTominay, I think he's right playing Matic. Jeff Hepner says, my son wants to hear you sing Oh Fernandes, Bruno. He's Portuguese and scores. Okay, I'll try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh Fernandes, Bruno. He's Portuguese and scores goals. I went too high. I've ruined it, Jeff. I went too high. Niagan says that I get your bit about Matic. I feel against Foden and Gunda and Matic can dominate physically but have to be careful with tactical fouling. Yes, it's going to be interesting in that sense because United do have the advantage in height. And I did just want to mention that. When you think about United, Matic is tall, Maguire is tall, and that's two players who are very good in who can be good in the air. But they have got Otamendi and they have got Rodrigo. It's just, I think we could have had an advantage with the height, but we haven't got the advantage with height, if that makes sense. Mark, honestly, do you think United will get top 4 this season and why? Says Majidan Hassan. I think that I said this a couple of days ago that there will be a roller coaster. Wasn't there a song about roller coasters? Oh, it was that bloody Pratt, wasn't it? Keating, get out with your roller coaster. Life is a roller coaster, just gotta ride it. You wouldn't sing that on a roller coaster. You want something a little bit more, Motorhead. But anyway, or the Ace of Spades. But look, I think if we lose today, everyone's going to go top 4's over. And I never know what I'm going to do in my match reaction. I don't know what I'm going to do in my match reaction. So I could sit here and say, top 4's not definitely gone if we lose today. 6 points, a big gap, 9 games to go. It'll be difficult if it's gone today. Do I think we'll get top 4? I think if we win today, we've got a great chance of getting top 4. If we lose today, we've got to really go on a run in April. But the fixtures in April are doable for United. But the problem in April will be that we've got games that are that whilst they're winnable, we've also got Europa League latter stage games as well. So yeah, Nick P, I was feeling a little bit nervous about this game. Then Sky Cameras just cut to a shot of Bruno and I did a little fist pump. He gives me hope. Nick P, I saw exactly the same shot and had exactly the same feeling. He is reassuring, isn't he, Bruno? And I think that Bruno Fernandes is a player that you could drop him into any team. And it's funny because you can... I can feed this in quite nicely. You can subscribe to the United Stand by clicking the button in the bottom right hand corner, and please do that. And if you do, we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We have loads of interactive shows like we are doing now. And I did say about Bruno Fernandes that I wanted him to come to United in the summer. We didn't get him. They pretended they didn't want him. And I thought that was the end of Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United. I thought that was it. Then I was talking about Bruno on a stream around November time. And I said, wherever he goes, he will be a fantastic player. Whether it's Spurs, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Liverpool, he will be a fantastic player. So I am absolutely over the moon that he's at Manchester United, and I think that he would be a brilliant player everywhere. It's interesting that Pep sort of said that he wasn't interested in him. I personally think that Pep would like him at Manchester United. Pep would like him at Manchester City. But I'm not so. What I want to get, and I've probably not said it in the right way. What I've wanted United to get to is a point where we can take control of a game. We're not there yet, and I don't think we're going to see that today. But I want to see Manchester United take control of a game themselves, and I think at some point with Bruno Fernandes, we will get that. We will see Bruno Fernandes taking hold of the game and doing his bit. So I'm excited by what he can achieve. And I think when you've got Bruno Fernandes in the team, and you've got people like Martial in the attack, and you've got Dan James. I mean, I think we don't do this enough on this show. We spend a lot of time talking, but we probably don't look at the tactical side of how a game might go. And I think if it goes to plan, City are going to have a lot of the ball. If we can break down the ball in our half and move it quick into Bruno, I can envisage Bruno in the centre circle on the break, looking at the channels for Martial, looking at the channels for Dan James, and they're either getting in behind or they're holding it up and playing it back to Bruno on the edge of the box to shoot it in the goal. Those are the sort of scenarios that I can see for United, and I think that's the sort of scenario that we've got to look to do. Fred and Matic are going to be very defensive. Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams probably going to be quite defensive. So I think that the three up front, the Bruno and the Martial and the James, that's what we're going to look to. But you know what? I think as well, when we look at this, and I haven't thought of this enough, how we play today in relation to the Manchester City formation, I predicted we were going to play a back five, and the reason I predicted we would play a back five is because he didn't pick Williams. He didn't pick Williams against Derby, and that made me think, well, you know what, Mark? That made me think this. It made me think he's going to play a back five, because why would you not rest Luke Shaw against Derby and play Williams at left back? So he's obviously going to play a back five. But the thing about the back five is City only play with one striker, and we've got three centre backs. So what are we doing? How defensive are we playing today against a side that plays one striker? Are we going to keep three centre-backs back, or are we going to push our centre-backs wide and push our full-backs forward into the midfield? So it almost does become a 3-4-3. That's going to be interesting for me. I don't think we will. I think we will play defensive. Ollie stays 5-3-2 is going to be our standard formation next season. Talks about free-flowing football, then plays 5-3-2. Suits his cowardly on-the-break style, says Shaveen. Say it how it is. Say it how it is. Ollie is a tactical genius in the same way Professor Stephen Hawkinson was a world-class athlete, says Med3. Oh, here we come with the haters. Cameron Shanks, would you rather be in United's position, 6 points out of top four with Europa League, a possibility of Champions League, or Chelsea's position, no Champions League but top four? That's a good question, Cameron. I'll come back to that. Niargan says, your thoughts about Shaw at left centre-back? Because I think Ollie has put him there to manage Bernardo, while Aaron Wan-Bissaka can manage Sterling. Solve those two and we've got a chance. And Mohammed Ishmael says, people got to chill. Chelsea have the toughest remaining fixtures. City, Liverpool, Watford, Villa, Norwich, Leicester, Sheffield and Wolves. And Shaveen, yeah, we've read that. I mean, look, would I rather have Chelsea's position or our position? Look, I want to win. Chelsea, we're both still in the FA Cup, so forget about that. Chelsea are going to get knocked out of the Champions League. We're still in the Europa League, but we are three. If we win today, I want our situation. I think you can't say what you'd prefer until after the game, but if we lose today, I'd want Chelsea's situation. And talking about the Luke Shaw thing, taking care of Bernardo Silva, I mean, look, I haven't said this because I didn't want to say it. I knew we'd play a 5-3-2. We have played a 5-3-2. I wouldn't have played a 5-3-2 because why can't Maguire and Lindelof deal with Aguero? Why can't Luke Shaw deal with Silva? And why can't Wan-Bissaka deal with Sterling? and then you don't need Brandon Williams. He's on the, you've got an extra midfielder or an extra attacker. I totally agree with you. I think Luke Shaw can deal with Bernardo Silva. So why do we need Luke Shaw and Bernardo Williams? Brendan Williams. They've just combined. I think the 5 at the back's overkill. And unless we see something amazing in the tactics, I think 5 at the back is pointless. It's not pointless, but are we playing just to not get beat? Has Ollie just gone, a draw's a good point? Which, as much as 5 points and 6 points are no different, they are massive, really. 6 points is 2 wins. 5 points isn't 2 wins. If Chelsea lose one, you're only 2 points behind them instead of a whole win. Thoughts on Bruno in this formation, says Connor Pico. I think Bruno will be fine. I think Bruno will be fine in this formation. I think it will suit him quite well. He will have the freedom. I mean, Bruno will have massive freedom today because there's 5 defenders and there's 2 holding midfielders. Again, we always play the 2 holding midfielders. Mark Hillenack says it's a bit of an overkill on the defence. Ollie 2 negative marks, says Skylar Cox. Well, let's see what happens. If we win the game, no one's going to complain. But as Henu says, I hate 5 back at the back every game we play that system. The thing I hate about 5 at the back is we're not going to have sustained pressure. And as a Manchester United side, we have just become very much about winning games, haven't we? We've become very result orientated, and that is disappointing, because I think of Manchester United and I think before a game's kicked off and I'm thinking, you know what, I want to see us having loads of shots, I want to see us get hold of the game. And if we're taught, it could happen today, but there's a 90% chance it's not going to happen. We're going to try and hit them on the break, which is very submissive. And at some point, when are we going to become Manchester United again? I get that we're building something, but I still think that City team is vulnerable and we should be going more on the front foot. Maybe we will. Frederick Larson, don't get people saying Lindelof is bad. Maguire makes mistake, and yeah, Lindelof too. But it feels as if Lindelof gets heat, but not Maguire. Why? One's British, mate. That's pretty much what it normally is about. Inhale would not do well if he played this, says Luke Haynes. And I think he means Igalo. That's the only name I can think of that you could misspell as Inhale. Where is Rashford? God, where have you been, mate? It's like you're as bad as the person who said, why is Pogba not playing? Where have you been? Or do you just type anything to get noticed? Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm just going to do a subscriber check. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to get up to 674,000 today. We're 100 away. So bottom right hand corner, please subscribe, and we can change that to 674,000 in the bottom right hand corner just to subscribe. Biggest and best Manchester United fan community on YouTube. Always interactive. We'll have a match reaction afterwards. We've got fan cams with Flex outside the ground after the game. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. Call in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Previews, match chat. Always live an hour before with the team news like we have just been there. Really thanks everyone who's been joining us so far. And subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Let's get it up to 674,000. Maybe they will play 4 at the back and give Shaw the freedom to move up and help James on the left. I hate the back 5. Ollie is scared to lose. I think it would have to be Williams who had that licence, Craig. I can't see Williams being left at left back and Luke Shaw as a winger. I'll be very surprised at that. And Mark Witten says, shout out to my lovely girlfriend Cassandra, she's watching today. I love the name Cassandra, Mark. It makes me think of Only Fools and Horses and Rodney. And Tobias Gronfold says, Dortmund plays the same formation and they don't play defensive or negative. I get the players in United aren't at the same level, but the formation could still be an attacking one. It could be, Tobias, but it hasn't been, has it? We've used it a few times now and it's never really been an attacking one. And Neargan says, Mark, do you think we can match City with the same 4-3-3? Looking at both teams, I feel that United can match toe-to-toe if we play 4-3-3 with Bruno. Well, no. I don't think that, as much as I like Fred, I don't think Fred is as good as he's not as good on the ball as he probably should be for a Brazilian. And Matic isn't good on the ball either. So I think that with the way we've gone about this, Man City would still have the better midfield. And also, I think that Hopefully this is going to work. Yeah, I'm just testing the timer. We've had problems with the timer. If anyone was watching That's Football yesterday, we had a real problem with the timer. So I'm glad that works. Should have tested that probably before we went live, but there you go. Yeah, Man City are better coached as a footballing team than Manchester United ever will be. And that's because Pep Guardiola is a better footballing coach than Sir Alex Ferguson ever was. Like, football. Wenger was a better footballing coach than Sir Alex Ferguson in relation to style of football. He wasn't a better coach because Sir Alex Ferguson's the best coach there's ever been. But in relation to style of football, Pep Guardiola doesn't really have an equal. The way that they play football is marvellous. So for us to go toe-to-toe with them, we'd have to do it in a very different way. Players are in the tunnel. We are 5 minutes from kickoff. Do you think we can... Yeah, we've done that from Niargan. So, final... welcome to Man United who's just subscribed. Thank you for that. McTominay's on the bench. Zahab, if you want to know what the bench for Manchester United is, that's the starting lineup on the left with De Gea, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Williams and Wan-Bissaka as the back five. Fred and Matic holding in front of them. Fernandes ahead of them, and then Martial and James as a front two. On the bench, you've got Romero, Bailly, Twansibi, Mata, McTominay, Greenwood and Ighalo. No place for Lingard or for Pereira today. Manchester City line up with no De Bruyne. So Ederson, Cancelo, Fernandinho, Otamendi and Zinchenko in a back four. Gundogan, Rodri and Foden as a midfield three, and then Sterling, Aguero and Bernardo Silva. And I'm quite pleased. I mean, Bernardo Silva's a very good player. He scored a very, very good goal against us, didn't he? But I did a combined 11 and I put Mahrez in it over Bernardo Silva. Mahrez scares me more than Bernardo Silva because he's quicker and he's more direct and he's more skillful. So in a way, I'm quite happy that Bernardo Silva is playing over Mahrez. Watch Bernardo Silva go and put in a masterclass now. But yeah, I am. We're up for this. We're ready for this. Are you ready for this? I'm ready for this. Are you ready? I'm ready. We're all ready. And it's going to be a fuck. I nearly swore. I don't want to swear. Leaf Hunter says, not feeling great today since I got the flu. Pretty bad, but a United win today would definitely make me feel better. Leaf, I hope it's not the wrong sort of flu. Last chance for any chance of top four, says TJ Smith. Is it that simple? Is it that simple? Does it come down to that? We are 20 subscribers off 674,000. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. Bottom right hand corner. And we are very, very, very close to the start of the game. And no more talk other than match talk is about to come our way, which is good. Get everything ready. Come on, Man United. That's all I can see in the live comments, which is good. Get that out. Okay, we've had a super chat coming in from... Who was it coming from? Jonathan Nesbitt. Thank you, John. It says, midfield seems like ours for the taking today, backing Dan James to shut down the haters. I'd love Dan James to do that, Jonathan, because I think if we don't win, he's going to be the one that gets the blame, and it's not his fault, is it? Ben Cassell says, hope we win today, can't mess this up. Say hi to my wife, Brianna Mark. Hi, Brianna. Hope you're doing well. And we're ready to kick off here. Come on, City. We've got some City fans in here. They don't have a fan channel. It's not their fault. They don't have a fan channel. They have to come on ours because they don't have a fan channel. They don't have many fans, to be honest with you. Bruno's ready. Are you ready? I'm just waiting for the timer to. I'm just waiting for the game to kick off so I can do the timer, and then we'll get right into this. Giorgio B says, City have got fans. There we go. Right. Mike Dean's the ref. Yes, Carter. We haven't really discussed that, but we will be discussing the game now because we're about to get off. Come on. Bruno's going to kick it. I always love it when the game kicks off. All the talking stops, but then starts again because the game is on. Come on, ref. Come on, the ref. Come on. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. Go. Yes, we're off. Shambong. Let's get ready to rumble, says Cruz Burn. Is it Cruz Bum or Cruz Burn? Kick off, says Charlie 1-1. I used to play a computer game and it used to go like that. When it kicked off, it goes, kick off, in a really deep, exciting voice. Corey says he thinks we might get beat. Well, let's keep an eye on United here. Definitely it is the back five again, by the way. I know we're only 30 seconds in, but Dan James is actually playing to the right of the attack. And United are doing what they have done many a time, which is trying to press early on, which it's a funny one. I mean, I admire the fact that we want to press early on, but it's a funny one, isn't it, against Man City? They're probably the most comfortable team in Europe at passing the ball about, and they just will not be scared of a press. Oh, I tell you what, that's gone out for a throw in. But that's what I mean, City there. We press them high up the pitch and they just do little flicks and they're halfway up the pitch. So a minute gone, sort of trying to get a grasp of what we're doing with regards to the lineup here. But Luke Shaw's playing very central. Brandon Williams and Wan-Bissaka hugging the touchline in a back five. Matic and Fred shielding that back defence as well, and then Martial drifting wide a lot. He's done well there, nice little turn, and he wins the throw-in. We've got all the Liverpool fans. A lot of Liverpool fans will be on our side today, so they want us to win. I don't really care what Liverpool fans want. I know they want us to win because they want to win the title, which they're going to win anyway. So I want us to win because I want Manchester United to win. But United are doing quite well here with pressing the ball. And it's going to be an adjustment, I think, for Man City to try and work their way through us when we're pressing high up the pitch. And then we've got a lot of defenders. So it could be a sort of cagey first few minutes here. Dan James is sort of playing off the right. We're trying to play a front three here. We've basically got a very deep shield with 5 and 2 holding midfielders. And then we're sort of playing Bruno in a false 9 position at the moment with Dan James to the right and Martial to the left. So that's going to be interesting. But City a little bit sloppy with their passing here. Both to score a goal, says Jesus. I would imagine so. I can't imagine it being a 1-0 or a 0-0. I can't imagine that. But you just don't know. It's been a sort of cagey start here. City now United have got the ball. They're trying to press us in. Little flick by Wan-Bissaka there into Dan James. But Zinchenko picks it up. And this could be an assist. Oh, I tell you what. Martial nearly got in there. And I don't know whether Martial should be a little bit sharper to that. He's surely quicker than Cancelo, and I thought Martial there. I think Martial's got to be a bit better there. The 7-minute high press always excites the crowd until it gets real, says Rooney Stenson. I think you're right. I think we've seen United do this away a few times, Old Trafford a few times. It's almost like we press for 7 minutes and then we stop. It'd be interesting to see if we can keep it going beyond the first sort of 10 minutes. But Martial there, he could have been in. But Cancelo is fast, Daniel McLeod. He's a fullback, isn't he? Most fullbacks are quick. But, I mean, Martial's very fast, and I think that he sort of moved there a bit like Peter Crouch. There was no acceleration. United a little bit sloppy there from Matic, and now a chance for City to get into the final third. And they'll look to now move the ball about a bit and feel their way into the game, because it's been a lot of backwards and forward at the moment. No one's really been able to get hold of the ball, but United are. I was trying to figure out what Zinchenko was doing then. He was almost playing as like a midfielder. I thought his Gundogan had gone to left back and Gundogan and Zinchenko had cut into the middle. But United win it back here, and it should go for a throw-in. So, yeah, they're moving. There's some interesting interchanging from Man City there. Zinchenko was basically, I thought, is Kevin De Bruyne playing for a moment? Because he just came into the middle area and stayed there for a good sort of minute, and Gundogan dropped to the left-back position. 7-minute press, as Sean Finn. It's a bit like the 7-minute abs, isn't he? Have you ever seen that film, Something About Mary? No, it's not 7-minute abs. It's 6-minute abs. Well, what if someone invents 5-minute abs? No, it's 6-minute abs. That's the idea. It's 6-minute abs. It's a 7-minute press. It's not a 10-minute press. United on the attack here, though. Martial. I do just feel that Man City are there for the taking. I know that could be famous last words, but I do feel that Man City are there for the taking today. They're just... I don't know what they are missing. De Bruyne's won, isn't it? And I suppose it's still, I think it's because defensively they're vulnerable. Somebody just said, Martial, wake up, Rob Baines says. And we're not having any of this Martial is lazy crap. I know what you're doing. You're trying to jinx it. He'll score and then you'll look like a bunch of prats again. Where is De Bruyne, says ZTech? He's injured. I'll probably be back for the Arsenal game on Wednesday to beat them at the Etihad. Actually, I hope Man City... that's why... I want United to win. Definitely want United to win. But it'd be great if we win and then they have to beat Man City on Wednesday. Arsenal on Wednesday. Their game in hand, you see. City are there for the taking. Just no noisy neighbours, says Sam X. And would you rather get the league double over Liverpool and Man City but come second in the league, or lose both times to City and Liverpool but win the league? I'd rather, mate, I remember Liverpool beating us quite a few times and we still won the league. I couldn't give a toss about beating Liverpool twice. I'd rather win the league. And we've done that many a time. I think there's an early corner here for City. United, a bit fortunate how it went for a corner, but I don't think City have got anything in the air that we need to worry about when we've got Harry Maguire. And Luke Shaw winning that. I forgot Luke Shaw's over 6 foot as well. He's good in the air. Luke Shaw number 1 in the United stand chart yesterday as well, and nobody really moaned about it. A good defensive header there by Brandon Williams, so another corner as well. But Luke Shaw's been fantastic, hasn't he, over the last few weeks, and I think he can slot into that left-sided centre-back position very well as well. So another corner for Man City here. Bit of a slowish, sort of sluggish start for United, to be honest, but we are what we are. Man City are going to have a lot of the ball. And I think, I hope that we can create some chances. Offside Man City there. I hope we can have some sustained pressure, but I do feel that it's going to be a lot of watching City on the ball and then hoping that we, on the break, can produce something. Who's your favourite player in Manchester United, says Zakia Nazreen? Well, to me, it would be Bruno Fernandes now. It always used to be Anthony Martial, and I still do like Martial, but Bruno Fernandes was just a dream signing in many ways. And I don't want to get into that conversation. I just saw somebody there saying, do you think United might not qualify for the Europa League? At the moment, we're still trying to win the top 4, aren't we? So Martial's just gone down here with a bang on the head. He's all right. It's a free kick. But yeah, look, we're down to 7th at the moment, aren't we? So we're in a race for top 4. I presume if we don't get top 4, we'll win the Europa League. We'll get in the Europa League qualifications, but that would be catastrophic to not have any European football next season. And the way this season's gone, things can change around very, very quickly. Dan James has picked it over on the left touchline here. Little ball back into Brandon Williams. 1-2. City pick it up and they get rid of it as well. And Luke Shaw. Oh, God, Luke Shaw getting caught a little bit there. Trying to be a bit clever. Aguero. Stand him up, Luke. That all comes from a mistake from Shaw. Sterling. Oh, what a save by De Gea. Brilliant save by De Gea. It was going in the bottom corner from Sterling. They might need to ride this out a bit. And that's Luke Shaw there. Just put it out for a throw-in. Really frustrating. Shaw's been playing so well. He tries to outrun Aguero and play it back to David De Gea. And all this comes from that mistake. Sometimes as a defender, just knock it out for a throw in. I think Shaw there, maybe because he's feeling so confident, tries to do the technical thing, and sometimes you've just got to knock it out for the throw in. And it ended up with a very good save from De Gea, from a good shot from Sterling. So Masters have our own downfall there. Just defensively, we've got a lot of defenders on the pitch, and we've got to cut out mistakes. And a good what a defensive header that was by Anthony Martial as well. I think it's been given as a foul anyway, but I tell you what, that is some header from Anthony Martial as well defensively. But remember, he's lazy. You'd think he'd given the foul. It was a brilliant header by Martial. If it hadn't been given as a foul, it was a brilliant defensive header. You don't expect Martial to be doing that up against Otamendi, but United got away with it a little bit there. Just switch on. I mean, it's not the end of the world. People make mistakes, but Luke Shaw just that's what he's got. That's what he should have done there. He got in a bit of problem there, and he puts it out for a throw in. That's fine. Sometimes just play the percentage ball, knock it out, go again. Don't try and be clever. Yeah, and Richel's right. You can't toy with City. Just get rid of the ball. City are starting to grow into this game a little bit, and I don't necessarily see the way City have set up in this game. I don't think they're playing a particularly high line. I think they're wary of the pace on the break. So I think if United are going to get into this game, we're going to have to do it through possession, by moving up through the pitch with possession. We can't just count on the fact that we can... City make a mistake in the final third and we hit a 40-yard pass and Dan James is through one-on-one. I think we're going to have to play a little bit of possession football ourselves. And at the moment, City are thriving with that. With Sterling into the box, up against Wan-Bissaka, that's going to be a really interesting battle. Wan-Bissaka against Sterling. But City, that's a poor ball. Williams... Get rid of Luke. Yeah, see, that's brilliant by Luke Shaw there. That's what you do. That's what he should have done with the first one. Bit of a bad ball to him. Thinks about taking a touch, blasts it out for a throw in. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Lingard is a promising young star, says Cops. Yeah, give him a couple of years and then he'll retire. Why are we trying to pass out from the back when we clearly aren't able to do it? Same routine. Go to the fullbacks, get pressed, concede a throw-in, says Ryan FTW. I think at the moment it's been a bit of a poor start from United. Aguero, whoa, what a covering tackle by Matic. United defending really well here at the moment, but you feel a goal is coming. We're defending too many last-ditch tackles. Megs on Maguire as well. I would have shouted that as I went through if I was Aguero. But United just need to settle into this game at the moment. The game's passing us by a little bit. Get rid. Go on, Fred. Now. No. City looking a bit too comfortable at the moment. I mean, we are sponsored by the OneFootball app. The link's in the video description, and the good thing is it's free. It's on Apple and Android, but when the matches are on, if you go into the app, you can follow Manchester United on it. You can get all your latest football news as well. Bayern Munich have gone 4 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga apparently. But if you go into the actual match, you can then check the stats, and I'll tell you that I think you knew I was going to check this out. 66% possession for City already, and they have made 113 passes to our 61. So not a great start from United in relation to that. No shots on target for United, of course, at the moment. We've won more aerial duels FC. Pass accuracy, 90% for City. So at the moment, as I said, 66% possession for Manchester City. You can download the OneFootball app for free. The link's in the video description. ALM Animation says we're looking a bit crap. I think at the moment, we've had that 7-minute press. That's disappeared, hasn't it? Predictable 7-minute press goes. Need that for the match reaction. And as I said, I think what United's plan today is to try and not concede and then hit them on the break. But the problem is, from what I've seen of City so far, they're playing quite a deep defensive line to stop us hitting them with pace on the break. So what's our plan B here? Because plan A of City attacking us and us just hitting them on the break, as I said, I think we're going to have to create opportunities. This might be a chance for Dan James. Good shot, straight to Ederson. That would have been an assist for Bruno as well. So that's a little bit better. Half a chance there. Matic to Fred. Nice, lovely ball by Fred, that is. And Bruno first time into Dan James. And Dan James does what he can do there. It's going to take a good shot to beat Ederson, but it's a nice little tester. And that gives me some positivity, because I was thinking United in the first few minutes, what are we looking to do here? Saga Kapoor says, Mark, I just hate how our midfield gets so easily bypassed like it's non-existent. We tried to impose ourselves during the first 5 minutes, but we got pegged back because of our absolute passive midfield. I think what United will be doing, I think United tactics-wise, and you look at it there, we're going to look for a bad pass from City and to move the ball quickly. And what Fred and Matic did there is they quickly got the ball to Bruno from a mistake by City and then exploited a bit of pace for Dan James. But how often we get to do that will depend how successful we are in this game. And if City are a bit sloppy in possession, then we will get opportunities to do that. Lindelof heads it back to De Gea. Quick roll out by De Gea there into Fred, and a sloppy pass by Fred. That's got to be. You can't be losing possession there, Fred. And now City are camped in our half again. Look at all the players we've got back though. Very defensive display from United today. And Sterling and Fred has won it back there. Nice little play by Fred there into Dan James. Give it him back. And then he wins the free kick. We'll have that. Good play. Sloppy by Fred, but then a really good phase of play by Fred to win the ball back and then carry it forward, and United win the free kick. Who's the home team here, says David. Well, yeah. I'm not going to fall for that. I think we all knew that United were going to be giving up possession here. The embarrassing thing is if it goes over 70%, it's 66% possession at the moment for City. You'd expect City to have around 65% in any game they're playing, but I think at home at Old Trafford, I wouldn't want it to be going over 70%. But I was talking to Flex on his way up to Manchester, and we were talking about the game, and we both, Flex said it. He said, I think to get something today, we've got to score first. We're set up. If we score first, we can then soak up the pressure, defend well, and maybe get a second or defend what we've got. But if we go behind, you fear what we're going to do. This formation is not a good formation if you're behind in a game, because it's a defensive formation. So the key for United is to get in front. It's a bit like that Liverpool game at Old Trafford where we played a back five against them, didn't we? We got that early goal from was it Rashford, and then we had something to defend for in the second half, and we ended up getting a draw. They ended up equalising, but we got quite close to holding out for the 1-0. We're set up. We're not set up to go behind. That's the most important thing, is to not concede. Watch that move again. James should have squared it up to Martial instead of the shot. No positional awareness at all, says Mohammed. You know what? I think sometimes you can overanalyse things, and I think sometimes I say things that people say, oh, you've been a bit unfair there. Mohammed, if you think you should have squared it, that's absolutely fine. That's your opinion. But I've got to be honest with you. If I'm Dan James in that situation, I'm shooting. So I don't have a problem. It's gone to 70% possession, Man City now. Sky have just flashed it up on their screen. 70% possession to Manchester City at the moment. I honestly feel embarrassed to see Dan James in a United shirt. His championship dross, negative, and Ollie should have played 4-3-3 and given Greenwood a start. And that was from the mystery man. Secretly, all United fans hoping for a draw, says Anthony Boardman. I would wonder why. Why would we want a draw? Sally Devil Red 7, what happens if we do concede? Well, we'd have to change the formation. This is not an attacking team, so if you go behind, you'd have to change. I don't think. I think 70% possession for Man City is embarrassing. I don't think it's going to think we're going to. I don't think it means we're going to lose the game though. It's 0-0 at the moment. Doesn't mean we're going to lose. I think the bigger picture is the way we play football is a bit embarrassing, but it doesn't mean we're going to lose the game. You know, we've seen United do this plenty of times. And we're just going to have to bed in and try and, you know, be patient for our chance. So 70% possession has been hit by City in 20 minutes. But on a positive, and you always have to search for the positive, on a positive, we did do this at the Etihad just in the second leg where they dominated us and we still won 1-0 with that Matic shot, didn't we? If you open up and attack a Pep team, they will tear you apart is a myth. The only manager that has a winning record against Pep is Klopp. Coincidentally, the only manager that always attacks him. Yeah, I think you're right actually, because Biggie third, because I remember like City when United were Martial. Oh, I thought he was going to get that in there. See, the best two chances have fallen to United, despite the fact that we are counter-attack FC. The best two chances have fallen to us. Dan James with a chance and then Martial there. And as we watch this back again, I think it's Brandon Williams with the ball. Lovely little ball into Martial. He takes it down really well. Does everything right, really, Martial. Lovely takedown. It's there to be hit. And Otamendi just catches his knee. Otherwise, I think it's 1-0. I don't think there's nothing wrong with what Martial does there. And it's a good ball by Brandon Williams. And again, it's exploiting that space. And that's just what I mean. Look, City have got a lot of the ball. We're not going to have a lot of the ball. We're going to, fans are going to get impatient because we're just watching City knock the ball about. But United, this is why we're not that enjoyable to watch, because we don't actually have a lot of the ball. We deal in... Maguire, you've got to win that, pal. We deal in bursts. We don't deal in possession. But it doesn't mean that we can't win the game. Interestingly, Liam Grogan says Ollie doesn't look that happy. We've had the two best chances though, haven't we? And I thought that was a handball by Fred. Like Dan James now, bit of space to run into him. Run at him. You've got to skin him here. A free kick on the edge of the box. And he has given it. Free kick here. Good opportunity for Manchester United. You'd fancy Bruno on it. Dan James doing what's required of him there. Definitely was a foul by Otamendi. Yeah. Bruno. It could be a Fred. I'm to be honest, right footer. It could be a Fred here. Sorry, he suits the left footer here. It could be a Fred. Bruno might go round the wall. The other side. Toxic Rush says James has got no skills when he's just skinned Otamendi and got round it. But good free kick here. Edge of the box. Quite far to the right. So you've got to go round the wall if you're a right footer, or around the wall that way if you're a left footer. Probably, I think Bruno's looking to go around the wall here. Top corner. Yeah, into the wall. I think it was the right way to go there, Bruno, but it's into the wall. People too harsh on Dan James, says Luke Haynes. I've got no problem with Dan James. I think that the criticism of it, Megs, Fred, good defending there from Fernandinho. With Dan James, right, when we bought him for 15 million from Swansea, I was like, that's no money. Let's just see what he works out. Have him on the bench, bleed him into the club gradually. Comes into the club, gets played every bloody game as if he's the next bloody Gareth Bale, and then burns out. What do we think? Red Baron says screw the defensive football at home. Well, United are on the attack at the moment. We've actually done a little bit here. Oh, Matic, nearly a good ball into Fred. United being a little bit more combative, a little bit more progressive here. So United now bringing that old possession down. It must be down to about 69% now because we've had a good couple of minutes here of possession, and Brandon Williams up against Cancelo, and it's a foul by him. What price a 0-0? Can I ask what price a 0-0? Do you think we could have a 0-0 in this game? It's United looking quite defensively. I daren't say sound, but United looking defensive. Man City not really carved any openings up yet, and yeah, could be a 0-0 game. We've hit 674,000 subscribers, so I'm just going to change that. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We've got fan cams coming up for you after the game, of course. Nathan Scott wishes Agale was playing. City giving the ball away a little bit at the moment, and I think this is where United will come into the game. If City are sloppy on the ball, we're getting opportunities. And Brandon Williams trying to slip Luke Shaw on the overlap there. Dan James has been overplayed, says Dennis Thompson. Yeah, I think for a £15 million young lad from the Championship, the handling of Dan James has been shocking by the coaching staff, and I think he's been a victim of that. And I think fans get on his back as if like he's better than he is. He's oh, Martial, lovely turn on Fernandinho. Just play Bruno in. What? Martial, come on. You've got to play Bruno in there. That's the chance. What a prat. Lovely play by Martial, really strong, gets away from, but this is where, look, just pass it to Bruno. He's a striker. He's going to go for goal, but the reality is he's got a defender and a goalkeeper. He's just got to lay Bruno in there. That was a chance. Why doesn't Martial pass that to Bruno there? I tell you what, that's 1-0. That is 1-0 there. And for all this defensiveness that United have played, we've had the 3 best chances of the game, but he's got to pass that. But I tell you what, strikers, you can say ego, you can say he's an idiot, you can pick on Martial. I've seen people over the years do this. Aguero would do it. Strikers are selfish. That's why they score goals. They see a chance in the box, they're going to go for themselves. But I tell you what, an unselfish player there, that's 1-0, because Bruno ain't going to miss that. Passing him unmarked on the penalty spot, that's 1-0. But Martial greedy, but that's what strikers are. They are. You could, if Lukaku was still here, guarantee he shoots as well. It's what strikers do. Free kick to United here. Mike Dean's a red at the moment. He's given us lots. Luke Shaw it was. Didn't seem to be much in it on Bruno, to be fair, but there you go. So United having a good few minutes here. City looking a bit frustrated, says Ultra Spy, which is always a good thing as well. Half an hour gone. Still 0-0. United having the better chances. I tell you what, if I was Ollie, this is obvious. I don't know why Ollie wouldn't be happy. This is the game plan he's put out there, isn't it? Gift up possession to try and hit teams on the break. And at the moment, we've had the better start. This won't be a shooting opportunity. By the way, they'll cross this in. Definitely going to cross it in. Yeah! Yes! Martial, 1-0 Manchester United. He finishes that time, and United do take the lead, and it's a very, very, very clever, very, very clever. Where are you at now, calling Martial greedy or lazy or anything else? He'll always sit you down, and Manchester United lead in the Manchester derby. Steak and chips, and somebody ordered some sauce. It's Martial. Little chip by Bruno. Whack by Martial. Keeper probably like last week. He should save it. But Manchester United lead 1-0. Lovely, lovely little bit of tackers. It's a keeping error. We'll take it. I don't care. But the ingenious from Martial and Bruno to interchange. Very quick dink over the top. Martial shoots. Ederson should save it. 1-0 to Manchester United. We don't care. Very quick. And United were just starting to get a little bit of the play there. And very, 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 very important for United to go in front in this game. Very important indeed. And how ironic is it that Manchester United, from that chance that Martial had, and he should have played Bruno in, a couple of minutes later, Bruno plays Martial in, and it's 1-0 to it's 1-0 to Manchester United. Marshall scores 1-0 to Manchester United, and we're all over them a little bit at the moment. Williams, this should be 2. Oh, I tell you what, I told you they're there for the taking. Williams with the cross, Bruno on the end of it, heads it just wide, and Man City have just fallen apart here. Pep the Bottler could be looking at 3 losses to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season. Madness, madness. Bruno nearly getting on the end. Another assist for Bruno, by the way, with the Martial goal. Shouldn't have been a free kick, says Marcus Swain. Well, maybe it shouldn't have been a free kick. I haven't seen the replay of that, but the reality is the referee gave the free kick. And City are 1-0 down, and they won't like that because it plays into United's hands now. City have the possession, try and break us down. Is it possible to give Bruno another contract, says Derod Tony? Cheap, cheap, cheap at £47 million. United are winning everything back now, and they're swarming. And oh, it's a free kick. Harry Maguire on Aguero. That's how you finish your dinner, says Abdul. Well, to be fair, Martial had a couple of chances. Keeper should have done a little bit better, to be honest with you. Just like Pickford last week, but so what? Mark Matic has been amazing, says Kanshik Ratod. Aguero's down injured here. But Martial is lazy, says Red Baron, laugh out loud. Well, Martial, I thought Martial was bad against Everton, but before that he was in good form, and I think he was a victim of the Everton game in the position that we picked him. I think today Martial's looked lively again, hasn't he? Because he's playing back in a front two. I've just seen that free kick back. I don't think you can moan about it being a free kick. Well, whatever happened, Bruno was very clever. And Man City, when he kicks him, it's a free kick. It is a free kick, that is. Where would Pogba play in this team, says Lavanek. On the bench at the moment, I think. Lovely little dink by Bruno. That is such a clever goal. Such a clever goal. Apparently somebody just said there that there was a 50-50 chance that Pogba would return today. I didn't even know how would Pogba return today when he's not even trained with the first team. So how could he be 50-50 when he's not even trained with the first team? He's not even been, well, as far as I know, he's not been photographed. Somebody just said the free kick was taken early as well. I think Mike Dean's been a good help in this game so far. He's given us quite a lot of free kicks. I'm not saying they weren't, but we've had our fair share. I bloody love Bruno. I had to watch log chopping to make him mine. I'm overwhelmed by his creativity, next, says Nick P. Good recovery tackle there by Wan-Bissaka on Sterling. And City, for all their possession, City have not actually created anything. And at the moment, look, we don't like the defensive football of Manchester United, but the plan works again. Martial always scores a worldie, says DJ Chonti. I wouldn't call it a worldie. I think since I've seen it back, the keeper should have saved it, really. But a bit like Pickford last week with Bruno. If you don't buy a lottery ticket, you don't win the lottery. And City playing nervously now because I think they know that... they know that they're losing, but I think they know that United are... So that's another bad pass by Foden. United are going to be very hard to break down. Scousers will be celebrating as well, of course, because it helps them get closer to their league title, because City are really the only team that are stopping them from winning it. It's about when they win it, of course. City on the attack now with Sterling. Good tackle, Wan-Bissaka again. Definitely winning that battle. Do a Ricky impression, says Hugo Sims. Well, I'll tell you what, Fleck. Matic. I know it was Bruno's assist, but Mata could have done that. And I think when Bruno did that, he himself, I tell you what, even Bruno, I think Mata told him to do it subliminally from the bench. But Matic, well, if Matic ain't on the pitch, it's still 0-0 because he's the reason that United are so creatively brilliant. That's a lovely good ball out by Matic again, actually. Martial playing with confidence there. Just holding the ball up nicely. Gets it back. United are playing with confidence now. City. Oh, that'll be a foul by Luke Shaw. A couple of crunching tackles. Get at him. Try and get that second goal. United are playing with their chests out. Tabo. City are rocking at the moment. Second goal. This is over. And I think United at the moment look like they can get the second goal. They can smell blood. Mark, Wan-Bissaka has to go to the Euros, says Saka Kapoor. Oh, 100%. 100% on that. Dan James. Fernandinho clears it. Matic. City clear. Matic. Fred. You just feel that United are knocking on the door a little bit here for a second goal. They sense it. The crowd sense it. United sense it. 8 minutes to half time. Wan-Bissaka. Oh, lovely run by Wan-Bissaka. Cross. Oh, just the crossing of Wan-Bissaka there, isn't it? Skips through. City are on the ropes here. They've been chinned a couple of times. They're waiting that knockout blow. Corner to United. Slabhead. Put it to bed. Momentum is with United at the moment. City getting destroyed to Sargento. Bruno with the corner. Oh, it's just over Harry Maguire. You felt that there. Oh, Matic. That was terrible by Matic. He laughs about it because he knows he's having a good game. Ollie checking his online banking. Oh, still winning, Michael. Yeah. What do you think? De Gea out or in? What's De Gea's made a... Remember, let's not forget, actually, we think we've dominated this game. Let's not forget, De Gea made a very good save from Sterling in the first couple of minutes, first few minutes. So De Gea has had an impact in this game. Everybody's had an impact so far. But City not having an impact at all. Ball over the top. Edison picks it up. And And you wouldn't. I mean, look, I'm not going to tempt fate, but City not really posing United many problems at all at the moment. Lots and lots of the ball, but I think United's. It is that whole. What are you going to do with it then? Oh, terrible ball by Rodri, but City will pick up the second ball here. We do need the second goal, but I still think United 1-0 up are a very hard team to get back into the game against. Fuck knows what that was by Cancelo, but he's gone out for a throw-in. Very important when United play 5 at the back that they score the first goal. And United have had 7 attempts to Manchester City's 1, by the way. Let's have a quick look. Remember, OneFootball sponsoring us today. Thank you to them. Links in the video description. Download it for free. It's on Apple and Android. And when you go into the app, if you go to matches, you can check out the stats. And no, we don't want to check Chelsea, Man City. Chelsea, Everton. Stats at the moment. Still 67.5% possession for Man City, even though United have had a good few minutes. They've also played 316 passes to 150 for us. But this is about what United do. It's a bit like what we did against Chelsea on the opening day. Being clinical on the break. And here is Dan James on the break again. To Fred. Not going to get a penalty for that, I'm afraid. He's going to get booked. Fred gets booked. I don't know whether that was a booking. Not sure that's a booking for Fred. Mike Dean books Fred for diving. To me, that looks more like it's a bloody penalty. Or maybe not. maybe not. Yeah, there's contact there. That's a penalty to me. Fred's been brilliant, both defence and going forward, says Pumpkin Spice Latte. That's a joke. There's contact. They've got a VAR, that. Well, it doesn't look like VAR is going to look at that, but the point remains that this contact has just been bloody booked for... You despair at this game, don't you? You absolutely despair. Like, you think I said at the time, why is he booked in for that? It doesn't look like it's a dive. You watch it back and there's bloody contact, so where's VAR? Why have we not gone back? That's a joke. What's the point in having it? You're giving offsides for a bloody caterpillar's knob, and then you're not giving penalties. There's this contact. Up yours. That's a joke. And to book him as well. What if he goes and does a foul and gets sent off? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We're seeing it again. There's contact. How have you not pulled this back? There's contact. He clips him. It's a penalty. It's just... Somebody just said contact's not penalty. Contact isn't a penalty. Well, it pretty much is, mate. That's being slowed. That's being played at slow speed. Otamendi goes to kick the ball and kicks Fred. That's a foul. That's a penalty. It's certainly not a dive. It certainly shouldn't be a yellow card. It's a bloody penalty, that is. I don't care what anybody says. Technology helps those who know how to use it, says Abhinav Ray. Matt Baggett says they checked it. Well, you know what they'll have said, Matt? They'll have said it wasn't enough contact to go down. I mean, this is where you ruin football, because they've tried to do this a few times now. They've tried to say there's not enough contact to go down. You cannot say this. You cannot say there's not enough contact to go down. It's impossible. because you are judging something you've got no idea about. Oh, what one man finds painful, another man laughs off. Like, so, you know, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And that to me is a joke that Fred gets a yellow card because actually there's contact, so it's not a dive. And I think it should be a bloody penalty. Why doesn't VAR reverse the yellow or make it a penalty? Is there some rule about cannot change the call on field of refs, as Michael? I don't know. I mean, I hate VAR anyway. It's a bloody joke. It always has been a joke. But I think United looking very comfortable in this game because Man City, they can have 70% possession. And yeah, you know, United have been a little bit boring to watch, but we're winning 1-0. And that's good defensive play by Lindelof. 2 minutes added on here. And United comfortable 1-0 at the moment. Should have had a penalty as far as I'm concerned. But certainly have had the better chances. And City have had more possession. But they're not posing a threat in our penalty box. An early chance for Sterling, which came from a bit of a mistake from Luke Shaw. But apart from that, what have City done? What have they done? It's been United. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We're trying to get up to 675,000. United just need to be a little bit careful in this game, and I'll tell you why at half-time. This could turn into the Liverpool game where we got 1-0 up, and then in the second half we ended up defending it, and they scored with 10 minutes to go. So we've got to be a little bit careful in this game as to how we game manage it, and hopefully we try and get the second goal. Because City will definitely... Pep, regardless of anything, will not want to lose 3 times to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in one season. That should be about half-time. Have to say Maguire has been a bit shaky today, says Salah Ahmed. Otamendi clearly clips Fred with training leg. Debate the pen, but certainly not a dive. And Ajmal Cosman, what will Pep change tactically in the second half that could worry us? Today is VAR City. I don't know. I think he's got to change something. I mean, I think maybe bringing on Riyad Mahrez, who's a little bit more direct. I think this little ticky-tack around the edge of our box isn't really causing Manchester United any problems at all at the moment. I think United looking very, very comfortable. That is half-time. I think with United, you know what? I'm very happy to be 1-0 up, and I thought that goal just comes from a bit of ingenuity by Bruno Fernandes and a little bit of a mistake by the goalkeeper. But the point is, United probably should be 2-0 up because I think that's a penalty on Fred. And I'll argue this out with anybody. United have been robbed, absolutely robbed by VAR because I just despair at it. I despair at it because, you know, Fred's just been booked there. There's every chance in a game like this he might nick somebody. I would hope that old Dean goes in and realises he's made a mistake and rectifies that in the second half by either Fred does a bad tackle and doesn't send him off, or he gives us another penalty for something that's a bit dubious. But you know what I mean? It's unfair. It's really unfair because United... I mean, we can talk about the possession stages of the game in a minute, and the reality is, we'll have a look, and I'm sure it's about 70%. But the point remains, apart from Raheem Sterling's chance, City have had a lot of the ball and no action. United haven't had a lot of the ball, but have created more action. Again, Pep's fell into the trap of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics today are basic. They're really basic. They're like, park the bus with 5 defenders and 2 midfielders, stop City creating chances. That's worked. And then hit them on the break quickly with the space as they leave, trying to attack us. And it's really basic tactics, but it can be very, very effective. And we've seen it work effectively against Chelsea a lot this season as well. James needs to come off. He's not been effective, says Aidan G. I think they're scared of James, to be honest, in relation to his pace. And when we go 1-0 in front, look, maybe the keeper should save it, but if Martial squares it to Bruno just before that, we would have scored anyway. So we're well worth the 1-0 lead. I don't care that was a pen, says Mohammed Ismail. I don't really know what your point is. But the point is, Manchester United deserve to be 1-0 up. And then you have the incident with the VAR. And look, he's very, very quick to go back and book Fred for that. And ultimately, what happens for anybody who's not seen it, and we'll see it again at half time, Fred goes past Otamendi, his touch is heavy, he's never going to get the ball again, but Otamendi tries to tackle him and kicks through and hits Fred, and Fred goes over. Fred can't stay on his feet there, so people saying, oh, the contact's not enough for a penalty, he's going down, he's been kicked on the ankle, he's going to go down. So it's not a yellow card, and actually, it should be a bloody penalty, and I do wonder what VAR is doing, and I'm sure we'll get some boffins in the live comments saying VAR looked at it and there wasn't enough contact for him to go down. But how do we do, since when have we had this, there's not enough contact to go down? I remember Leicester playing Liverpool back in the autumn, they hardly touched Mane, VAR review, penalty. And I said at the time, it is a penalty. Is it enough to go down? No. But has he fouled him? Has he touched him illegally? Yes, penalty. So I think we need to go back to that world. We need to go back to the world where if there's contact and it's illegal, it's a penalty. Simulation, to me, is when there's no contact. And we've seen plenty of those penalties over the years. But if somebody kicks somebody, you can't start defining it's not enough contact, because unless you felt it, you don't know. Like I've had what looks like a butterfly kick. You know when someone skims you, but if they skim you and it catches your stud on your ankle bone, it bloody hurts. So how can you say there's not enough contact? The point remains, Otamendi there swings at the ball, misses the ball, kicks Fred goes down in the box. It's definitely not a yellow card, and to me, it's a penalty. And if VAR exists, why does it exist? Because, as I said, we've seen people called offside because they're offside by a caterpillar's cock. And yet, you have contact there, like that, with Fred, and we're talking about, was it enough contact? Why is that in the game? If you're going to be off for a millimetre, you're off, right? If there's contact in the penalty box, there's contact in the penalty box. Did he touch any of the ball? No. Was it a foul? Yes, it's a penalty. I don't understand why the yellow can't be taken back after seeing it. It was clearly not a dive, says Jacob Hexamer. Because if I tell you why they won't take the yellow card back, because they're going to stand by there wasn't enough contact for Fred to go down, which is at best thick and at worst bloody corrupt. Because if they say that Fred shouldn't have a yellow card because there was contact, it's basically saying it's a penalty. So what they're now going to try and say is, well, it was a yellow card because he went down too easily. So now you can get booked for diving even when somebody clips you. Joke. Looks like it was more contact on Fred than it was on Bruno in the free kick situation, says Thomas Stan. Yeah, and I thought that was a free kick as well. Michael Pedley says, how can VAR work in every other competition but the Premier League? Issue is the way it's used. Refs should check for themselves. New rules for next season, please. And George Ramos, Mark, this should have been 2-0. That was very selfish from Martial. Should have passed it to Bruno. He would have smashed it. Dan James is having a bad game. I mean, look, they're trying to have a look at this free kick on Bruno here. I mean, is this now immaterial anyway? Because we should have had a bloody penalty. Oh, we're looking back at the Gundogan challenge. We should have had a bloody penalty. Shut up. And I think with this Bruno one, it's probably what I was saying anyway. The contact that he gets is painful. So, you know, who are we to define whether there's enough contact on the ball or not? We're not. Ollie's got his tactics spot on, says Sabajith. I mean, look, I do want to talk about that in a minute. I don't like these tactics. They're effective, but I don't like them. They're just like Stoke City, really. It's sitting back and soaking up, isn't it? I don't like a team coming to Old Trafford and having 70% possession, but when they're not doing anything with it, and we win the game, that's the bottom line. Still think McTominay should have played, and I don't know who said that. It was Sartik Doob. I think Matic has been very, very good, so I don't think that you could really say that. I think Matic has been really, really good. The goal itself is just ingenious. I mean, I know the keeper should do a little bit better, but the little dink by Bruno into Martial and then he hits it on the volley, the technique of it's brilliant. Keeper should save it, of course, but you can't knock the brilliance of that. Matic has done well, says Chris Sherwood. We're only halfway there, though. We're only halfway there. Now, the penalty claim, here we go. I'm watching it back. I've seen it 3 times and nothing's convinced me it's not a penalty. I mean, I'll be honest, when you look at it in real time, you probably... I thought, oh, that's not a penalty. But when you watch the actual incident, and this is what VAR is there for, it's a penalty. He swings at his leg. Like, he absolutely swings at his leg and he's nowhere near the ball. To me, that's a penalty. Gary O'Brien, welcome. Latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Appreciate that. And Jake Foot says, VAR states that... I'm just watching it again here, Jake. One... Yeah. He catches his leg. It's a penalty. VAR states that it rectifies clear and obvious errors. If that's not clear and obvious, I have no idea what is. Love your channel, Mark, and keep it up. Yeah, I've every time I've seen it, I've felt that's a penalty. There's not, you sometimes keep watching it and thinking, no, every time. Did Matic really sign a new contract, Mark? Says Christopher Lou. It's a 1-year extension. I think that's what's been signed. It's so basic, Mark. Why did it work so well against the best team in this league? Why does not every other team do the very same then? Says Vicar. Because Vicar, I think you're trying to start an argument that's not relevant. What I'm saying is, and I've already said it, these tactics can be very effective, but they're basic. There's nothing ingenious about playing 5 defenders, 2 holding midfielders, and expecting a clean sheet. It's a defensive lineup, and then what you do is if the opposition aren't good at breaking you down and they give you the ball, you hit them on the space that they leave. We did it against Chelsea on the opening game of the season. We've done it a few times this season. It's not nice to watch because you don't see your team on the ball very much. It's very wham bam thank you man, and it can be very effective. Something basic can be very effective. Beans on toast is a very effective meal, very easy to make. I'm not saying it's bad. And also, the thing that United advantage have is over a Stoke, and you say, well, why doesn't every other team do it? Not every team has got Bruno, Martial and Dan James as a front three who are very quick and decent players. We are a club that has an embarrassment of riches in the attacking area that if we do break, we can score goals. But I don't like the way we play football. I still don't like it, but I want Manchester United to get top 4. So yeah, look, basic football doesn't mean that it's not going to win you games. But I'll tell you what, the way that Chelsea play football and they try to play football, the way that Manchester United, the way that Pep tries to play football, the way Liverpool tries to play football is a lot harder than what we're doing today. That is a defensive team trying to hit teams on the break, and that's what we've done. And if you like that, that's great. I like it because it wins this game, but it's not. It's harder to keep hold of a football. It's a lot harder to keep hold of a football. To have 70% possession shows that you are a decent footballing side. But they've not been able to break us down because we've got a very strong defensive side. We're a good defensive footballing side. And we've got players that can hurt, that is very clinical on the break. We're a hard team to break down. And that's why we do pick up points. Is Matic still a wardrobe that just got new caster's wheels for Christmas, says Colm Kerwin. Matic totally deserved to start the game and over McTominay, and I think he's been very good today. VAR in the Premier League is probably the best. Brazil, a decision takes 7 minutes, so as we have to live with VAR, the Premier League is not that bad, says Georgie Best. I just hate it. I hate it. I thought Martial's goal does go down as a good goal, Jalal. I know people are saying that Ederson should have saved it, and yeah, he probably should have done, but the ingenious of Bruno and the fact that he volleys it straight. Look, what you really want to happen is you want that Martial goal to just go straight in the top corner and then it's one of the goals of the season. But yeah, the keeper should do better. But the keeper should have done better last week. And I tell you what, I think Esby's right. City are boring to watch. I used to think this about Pep's Barcelona. I can't argue with the fact that the way they move the ball around takes real coaching. It really does. The way City do their little triangles, the risks they take, the confidence they have in their first touch to play one-touch passing, it's technical. It's very, very good football. But it's also a bit boring. They spend a lot of... They don't really take risks around the final third, City. It's all about possession. And I remember Barcelona did the same. And look, if you want to talk about another team that's done this, I can take you back to Barcelona against Inter Milan in the Champions League in the Champions League semi-final with Inter Milan. People said it was anti-football against pure football, and anti-football won. And basically, Inter Milan, they got their goal on the break, and then they spent most of those 2 legs parking the bus. And they knocked the prime Barcelona team out. It can be effective. You can beat these footballing sides by just keeping it very, very deep and defensive and hitting on the break. Buster Nut, Fred and Aaron Wan-Bissaka best on the pitch today. If they don't get called up for the Euros, it would only be good for United. Sterling weeping from being in his pocket. I don't think Fred will get called up for the Euros, but Wan-Bissaka should. Laporte is the only decent centre-back City have left since Company. City are vulnerable at the back. If they can't break you down, City are vulnerable at the back. And Rooney Stenson says, City without De Bruyne is not the same. Still shocked that Martial didn't pass to Bruno. Yeah, and I think, you know what? I'm so glad that Martial scored, because if we'd gone in at 0-0, we'd be moaning about the penalty, but we'd also be moaning about that miss. It was stunning. Really, really stunning. And what's this? What? Bulletproof 2? It's got the same people as Top Boy in it. You can't... What? What's all that about? Bulletproof 2 and it's got the same people as... It's basically Top Boy. What's that about? What's that all about? Rahan says that was a penalty all day and all night. Fred is not going to go to the Euros, no. Please do download the OneFootball app. The link is in the video description. It's free. It's on Apple and Android. You can start voting for your man of the match on the app, on the match section, as soon as the second half starts, I think, or about 10 minutes in. I'll remind you about that during the game. How's it going to go in the second half? As I said at the end of the first half, got to be very, very careful in this game. I would say, and welcome to Atif P, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. We've got to go as we've been. We've got to carry on as we have been. We've got to try and get the second goal. We're a bit unfortunate not to already have it. We've now got to go and get that second goal, because what we don't want to do is go into our shells like we did against Liverpool, and then 10 minutes from the end, they go and get an equaliser. It would be some achievement to get a clean sheet against Man City. If we get a clean sheet, we've got 3 massive points. What we've got to be very careful about in the second half is not conceding and not going into our shell and not inviting City on. City have offered very little. As people have said, Wan-Bissaka has absolutely owned Sterling in this game, and I think that if we continue to do that, I think we'll be all right. So here we go, second half about to kick off. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. I'm worried if Pogba stays, then we won't get Sancho, says Demoy Vernon. And here we go, 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 here we go. So massive, massive 3 points if we get these, you know. The thing is though, it's funny, isn't it? Because we said that this might be the case. Chelsea draw last week, so we draw. Chelsea win a game I didn't expect them to win today, and we go and win. We just seem to mirror everything Chelsea does. And I'm hoping one day very soon, that we will actually have a better result from Chelsea and start to move above them. But if we win today, the opportunity to do that is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're off in the second half. We've got the timer up as well. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No changes. Still the same from City. I tell you what, there's a very interesting subplot to this as well. I mean, we're all just focused on United winning, and I'm sure Liverpool are like, please United win so we can win the title sooner. But Pep Guardiola has got to really look at the situation of, I will have a record this season of being beaten 3 times by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he'll have only beaten us once, and will have beat them twice in the league. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Chelsea didn't lose to Arsenal, says Amna, and I hope we don't get tired in the second half with David Silva and Mahrez coming on. Yeah, well, we did play on Thursday. We've got to be a bit careful about that as well. I just think United just need to be careful of going too deep, because I think United, if we get the second goal, it's over. But if there's 15 minutes to go, how adventurous will Ollie be, and how much pressure will we invite? No way Pep will accept this in the second half. If so, Ollie better than Pep, says Rooney Stenson. And if VAR did his job, we would have been 2-0 up and Fred's yellow card would have been reversed. Now we're 1-0 up and Fred is on the yellow card, says Mohamed Ishmael, and he's not happy. And Franco Riva, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Mark, would you take Oor at United, says Joel Morris. Either I'm really thick or I don't know who you're talking about. And sit down, Mark, says TXN. I just got a bit of cramp in my left thigh, so I was just stretching it out a bit. Thank you very much. Do I think Man City will make a comeback, Darren Van Wick? I think at best City will get a draw. Aguero's onside. He's offside. He's offside. He's offside. Ref's pulled it off. But United got to be careful here because that's a high line. Oh my life. I'm a little bit worried about this. Brandon Williams has played him on. I think Brandon Williams has played him on. No, it's offside. I was worried for a minute there. I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. It's offside. It's alright. Bloody hell. I don't understand VAR, and when you see those lines, you're like, that's offside. Oh my god, United nearly score as well. Jeez. Bloody hell. It's all going on. Ederson's having a nightmare at the back. He nearly knocks it into his own goal. Martial flies into the net and is injured. And then Man City managed to clear it. But, it's all going on. And now Martial's injured in the box, in the net. But the ball's not in the net. Ball goes back to Ederson. He takes a terrible touch. It's rolling in towards his goal. Martial's bravely gone in there. Ederson kicks it away. But then Martial, who's bravely gone in, has, I think, caught the follow-through. Oh, no, he did get there a bit. Oh, he's gone into the post. That's what. Martial's just whacked both his knees on the post. He'll be fine. You don't get bad injuries from banging your legs on the post. But he's so close to scoring there, Martial. Bravely going in, and he's banged both his legs on the knee. But yeah, going back to that Aguero goal then, I mean, the way they were showing the lines on VAR, I was like, that's going to be a goal. I don't even know how it is offside. It obviously is off by a caterpillar's cock or something like that. But it remains 1-0. And I really was worried for a minute there. I really was worried. I think we all thought, oh, it's definitely offside because the lino's got it right. But the line of the VAR was very, very close. But it remains 1-0 to Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka has turned Raheem Sterling into Raheem Rupi, absolutely dominating his side of the games as Ultra Clorox Bleach. And why do Manchester United play against if they win? I don't know what he's saying there, Christian. And Martial will be fine. It's just a bang on the knee, isn't it? A painful bang on the knee, but it's not a twist or a roll or anything like that on an ankle. But United need to be a little bit careful here. What are we doing? City are going to win, mark my words, says Ariel. Well, I'm a little bit more nervous than I was at half-time because, I mean, just look at that Aguero chance there. I mean, the interesting thing is that Brandon Williams, he's offside because of his hand. He's offside because of his arm. But you can't use your arm. I don't even understand VAR. He's offside because of his arm, but you can't use your arm. I don't know. We'll take it because it should have been a bloody penalty anyway. So sit down if anyone says that should be a goal because this is... Oh, Dan James. Go on, Dan. What are you going to do with it? Brandon Williams. Into the box. Bruno. Into Brandon. Surely you can give a goal off once. You can't give a goal once the ref is blown for offside, says Manuel. That's why they roll it on nowadays. But the game's a bit stretched at the moment. Can't afford to drop off in the second half, says Mr. D7 exactly. Martial's fine. I can see him now. He's absolutely fine. So, for opening 5 minutes of this second half, very interesting. City having a goal ruled out offside, and it was close. But United nearly scoring straight after. Get Martial off the field, says Biggie Third. He says wink, wink. We can't play sit back in the first, second half, says Real. Well, to be fair, we did play second. We did play first half sit back. It's quite effective. We just got to get the next goal. 2-0 game over. City won't score 2 from 2-0 down, but we sort of come out this half without a bit of a plan at the moment, and I think just nice little ball. Ooh. Lots of space down the wing here for Brandon Williams. Good run. He's had a good game. I think Brandon Williams has had a good game today. Well done, Luke Shaw. Into Fred. I thought he was going to have a shot. Nice little ball out to Wan-Bissaka. Cross. Oh, I thought he was going to drop to Williams. Luke Shaw slips. Get up, Luke. Matic. Nice ball. Oh. Watch out. Sterling. The poor ball. Maguire will pick that up. Gary McKinnock says, I hope we hold on. I think we're in for a very exciting second half, Gary, because I don't see this game sticking at 1-0. I can see there being some goals in this. And I think a lot depends on who's going to get the next goal. Well done, Martial. Strong. Oh, foul's given. I don't think that was a foul either. Martial will shut you up, so City now catching us on the break. Well, the thing is, they should not be catching us on the break. Why are we being caught on the break? Because we shouldn't be being caught on the break. We should be just so... This is the time to... When you're 1-0 up against City, it is the time. You've already got the 3 points. It is the time to do what we did at 0-0, which is sit back and hit on the break. I've got no problems with us doing that. And Man United makes a good point. He says 8 minutes in the first half went really quick, and the 8 minutes in this game have gone really slow. It has been a slow start, hasn't it? I think it's because a lot of things are happening, and we really could do with the second half flying by. But I think that's always the case when you're 1-0 up, isn't it? I'm not worried about David Silva coming on, by the way. I know somebody mentioned him. I'm more worried about Riyad Mahrez because he's more of a direct player. I think that could cause United a few problems. Foden. And Maguire has put it out for a corner. Why is Greenwood not playing a lot recently? Says Man United supporter. Well, I think today was all about a bit of tactics, wasn't it? Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. I think we've hit 675k. I'll just double check and then we can change that. But there is a corner to Man City here, which they've taken short. And De Gea makes a good save. I don't think you're going to beat De Gea from there, but he's had to deal with it and tip it over the box, over the bar. I think it's Foden who hits it from distance. Yeah, routine save for De Gea. He's got to tip it over the bar, but it's not gonna get beat from there. Another corner for City. They go short again into the back post. We got rid of that as well. Another free kick there. So 10 minutes gone. Still United leading 1-0. Subradip says we need a second goal now, otherwise draw incoming. And come on United, please, let's score at least one more, says Xander Vicky. Yeah, I tell you what, I think from this situation to not win the game would be really disappointing, wouldn't it? Because we're in that point, we're in that situation in the season now where, especially with City winning, if we draw, we're 5 points behind them. That's a long way for Chelsea. I mean, it's not undoable. We're playing quite well this last month or so, but if we're 3 points behind Chelsea, having beaten City, the confidence you're going to take from that, 3 points can change very quickly. 5 points, you know, we've got a lot of games still to play. We've still got the Europa League. I think it's a really massive, important 33 minutes now for Manchester United. And City are going to push. They're going to go more direct. And Foden here, they're into the box. Bernardo Silva. United, lots of people in the box for United though. Foden and Brandon Williams will deal with that. Nice. Intelligent play. And I think Cancelo will go in the book there for being late. Brandon Williams is down. Well, I don't know why we haven't played on there. Martial was away. Martial was away there. He's booked Cancelo. Nervy. Epic Ledger says thanks. Double substitution for Man City. Mahrez and Jesus. They're going to go for it, aren't they? Obviously. They're going to go for it. And this was the one that I feared. Mahrez coming on he's more direct. He's more skillful. Bernardo Silva's more of a pet player. Aguero comes off. Not had a very good game today. Jesus comes on, and I would imagine Bernardo Silva comes off, or maybe Foden. Maybe puts Bernardo Silva inside and take Foden off. No, he's taking Bernardo Silva off. So Bernardo Silva off. I'd be happy with that. So Mahrez goes on the right. Jesus goes through the middle. Aguero and Bernardo Silva comes off. I mean, that could work both ways. That could be slightly better for us. That could be slightly worse for us. I think Rashford will be back in April, Garang. City, I feel like City are doing a little bit more this half than they did in the first half. I think they're committing more people forward and being a little bit more direct. And United need to be a little bit careful. Zinchenko, Maguire, corner, well done. Another good header by Maguire. I don't think we can play. We can't keep this up. We've got to get the second goal. And I think Aguero is carrying an injury. We need to offer more on the attack. We've hardly seen Bruno this half. Another corner for City. Get rid of that. Oh, tell you what. Otamendi winning the header over the bar. Notice how early Peps makes his changes and take note, Ollie, says Tommy B. Yeah, remember, it's a very good point there as well. I must just give you a shout out, Pro Gamer Boy. He says Maguire looks like he's struggling. Remember, Wan-Bissaka, Dan James and Harry Maguire were all supposedly doubts for this game. And also, a lot of some of these players played on Thursday night as well. So tiredness for United. Remember in the Everton game in the second half, we felt there was a drop off and some people said it was tiredness. It's going to be very interesting to see second half what the energy levels of United players are. Have we got that energy? Because there's a couple who didn't play on Thursday, but there's a lot who did. We need another goal, says KWR Vids. Yes. I did say at half-time, well, I said it just before half-time, that I hope that this second half doesn't turn into what we saw with Liverpool when we were 1-0 up from the first half against them. And we're thinking, yeah, we've got to go and get the win. We're going to get the win. And then they just kept going and going and going. They didn't really create loads of chances, but when they got the chance, they took it. They ground us down. And I think, we've got to learn. If we're going to evolve, we've got to learn. Good clearance there. And this is where Dan James, you've got to just drive down the line here. Lots of space. What a run by Dan. What a run. Nice cross. Oh, well done. Good play there from Dan James. Does exactly what he's got to do on the break. Drives down the line, delivers a cross. It's just over Martial, but it's exactly right what he does. And that's what we've got to look about on the possession. I'll have a look at the possession in a minute, but now it's City coming forward with Sterling. Probably played the wrong ball there to Jesus, but he's still on it. Foden, Mahrez. Now this is where I get worried. Mahrez up against Williams. You've got to help him out. Foden over the bar. Tell you what, this half's dragging, isn't it? We've still got half an hour to go of this. We've got to do better than this. One Football app, links in the video description. You can download it. It's free on Apple and Android. I can tell you that you can start voting for your man of the match on there now. If you go to matches, you go to Manchester United versus Man City, you can vote for your man of the match. At the moment, Bruno Fernandes is leading, and that's probably for that moment of brilliance. But statistically, 70% possession for Manchester City at the moment. They've had 511 passes to our 218, and they've won more duels than us, 53%. So at the moment, it's all City. But we're just hoping that United can produce a moment to get that second goal, and it will be another smash and... No, it's not. I don't want to call it smash and grab, but you know what I mean? Like where you don't control the game, but you do get the points. City look a lot more mobile as well now. Mark, how does Ollie keep beating Pep? Are we living in the twilight zone, says Zamiasi. Good tackle there by Wan-Bissaka. Matic, man of the match at the moment, says Quattro. I just worry because I think at some point, the way City are playing, they're going to get their big chance. And when they get their big chance, will they take their big chance? You can't give a team this much possession and sit back against a team like this for this long. And you can almost feel Ollie's... You can almost imagine Ollie saying that at the end of the game. At the end of the day, you can't stop a team with that much quality. And I think the only way we're going to stop them is by doing a little bit more on the break. And when that Dan James thing came there, I think he does everything right, but we need more of those opportunities. Free kick here for City. I think they'll shoot, so I doubt it will go in from this distance here. He says, famous last words, but it's quite far out. It would take something very special to beat David De Gea from here, and I don't think they'll even attempt it. Zinchenko, Matic, Mahrez, Fred, get rid of it, Williams, yeah. Sean Finity, there was a beautiful space when Matic was on the ball at the box edge a few minutes ago. James or Martial just had to run it into him. Too static around the box. Football intelligence, Sean. I still think that the problem with United is if you gift up possession, you don't get used to playing with the ball much, do you? And I think that we... corner to Man City. When you gift up possession, like United do, we don't get used to playing on the ball. Think Bruno's a bit tired, need to bring on Greenwood, says Jordan M. I think Bruno's had such a quiet second half. Really has, hasn't he? I mean, City have had 8 corners to our 1. I mean, a lot of people would say City deserve something out of this game. I'm not one of those. I still think that in the balance of the game, we've had the better chances. We should have had the penalty. And City have had a lot of the ball, and maybe they will create more in the next few minutes. But I think that United are still good for their win. Lovely takedown by Martial there. Run it. Run it. Good. Lovely play that. Keep a bit of the ball, yeah. Harry Maguire's got it now, central. We look content to see it out. We really need a second, says JB. You say that. We might, 66 minutes, 25 minutes to go. We might be able to see it out. Yeah, Dev, I agree. I think he'll bring McTominay on for Bruno at some point and just really try and see it out. Samex, never a truer word said. He said, it doesn't matter who deserves something, it's who takes something in football. Replace James with Mata, says Michaelis. Yeah, but then you totally give up any prospect of hitting them on the break. I mean, Mata's quicker going backwards than he is going forward. This might be a chance to build something. Nope. Nope. We'll take this. We'll take this. A few people saying should Ollie needs to react to the tactics a little bit of Man City. Well, I don't think we've changed our plan throughout the whole game. It's been what it is. Now Williams is up against Morez here, and he's fallen over, and Morez into the box. Oh, tell you what. It's lucky that's not a good cross. Williams slips here, and it allows Morez to just put the cross in, and nobody's attacking it on the back. It was a good cross, actually. Mark, did you see we're going to make a move for Eric Berry in the summer, according to the papers? Says Amy Assey. He's an Arsenal fan. Eric Berry won't come to Arsenal. United won't want to sell him. Lovely play by City here. Well done by Lindelof. Another corner for Manchester City. United defending well. I think that's something to take out of it. I'm a big fan of Morez, Wan-Bissaka. I think I'd love it. I would love him to have come to Manchester United. That was a goal kick. That wasn't a corner. Other results didn't go in our favour this weekend, but you got to love if we see this out, says P. Othguy. That's De Gea's. Oh, what are you punching it for, Dave? Catch that. Man City still got it in a dangerous position. Cross comes in. United win the header well. Now run, Dan. Run. You've got a space. It's come to you. Oh, that was bad luck. Hit the heel of... United just diving into tackles a little bit here. Maguire has been poor this game. Not a good game to Salah Ahmed. And now... See, Wan-Bissaka tries to skin... Right, it's Dan James here. Look at Bruno. Look at Bruno. Lovely little touch. Look at Bruno. Oh, look at bloody Bruno again. Football intelligence again. People will say Dan James has done well there, and he does everything right, but the cutback to Bruno's there again. It's the same as Martial in the second half. He gets past Otamendi, and he gets the nosebleed. He thinks, I'm going to score from some stupid angle, and the pass is there to Bruno again. Look at the angle he shoots from. You're not going to score from there. I know it looks good for the cameras. He's not going to score from there. And look at Ollie, knows it. Ollie, see? Ollie knows it. Everyone's saying Dan James, good shot. Ollie knows it as much as I do. The cutback to Bruno is there. And I'm glad Ollie reacts like that, because people say, oh, you're being unfair on him. And it's not unfair. That was the pass. Should be done. Should be game over, that. 2 goals Bruno should have had today. Martial plays him in. Dan James plays him in. He doesn't miss those. But time goes by. That's the main thing. Look at the way City moved the ball about. I mean, I don't like City, but I wish my team moved the ball around like this. That's a goal kick. Dalot not on the bench. I feel I was a bad move, says Justin V. Opinion. And Fred has had a very poor game. Lost possession a lot, says Salah Ahmed. Well, Agallo's going to come on here, and I think Agallo's probably going to come on for Dan James. Luke Shaw's down injured at the moment. Cut back to Bruno, and it's a goal, says Zero Blade 57. Sorry, it's Eric Bailly who's warming up. He's not coming on either because Luke Shaw's all right. I think it's a bit of cramp. I thought he was bringing a Gala on because of Dan James. I think Eric Bailly's going to come on. He's still putting his shirt on. Bit of time wasting, nothing wrong with that. I think we're starting to move into that opinion, that point now where if even if City were to score, maybe we'd be looking at not enough time for them to win it. Luke Shaw's going to come back on anyway. So both halves, we've had a chance to cut it back to Bruno for what is effectively a tap-in for Bruno. And both times, James and Martial have gone for goal themselves from ridiculous positions, really. Football intelligence, people, that'll be a note for the match reaction regardless. It won't really be if we win. It won't be if we win. Imagine if we don't win, though, now, and those two chances at 1-0. Well done, Luke Shaw, there. Look at Bruno pushing them up. "74 minutes. And what an interception by Matic. Drive, Matic. Martial, go on. Oh, come on. I wonder if Martial for a Garlo might be an idea. Here's Mahrez in. Right hand side. Oh, that was the chance. That was the chance for Sterling. And he's missed it. Gabriel Jesus shoots and clears. Hopefully that was the chance. What a cross by Mahrez. And Sterling doesn't quite get there. I take that as a positive because I think that's the golden opportunity that Man City have been waiting for, and hopefully there won't be another one. Mahrez is the threat. He's always the threat. 30 minutes. We need subs, says Marky. I'm surprised we haven't made any subs, actually. United just camped at the back. I suppose you're not using a lot of energy when you just camped at the back. I think Williams has struggled. Williams got a lot of people saying Williams needs to come off. Mahrez has really caused Williams problems since he's come on. "76 minutes. Liverpool fans are probably celebrating this as much as we are, or nervous as we are. Yeet says we need to be a little bit more defensive. We're looking a bit tired. City going to make another substitution here. I think Mendy's coming on, probably to give him a bit of physicality. Daniel James runs first and thinks second. He has no football brain. Can you teach? Then can you teach? Then you think, says Trent Singh. That's the chance. I don't know what Raheem Sterling's doing there, to be honest with you. It was a tap in. I'm very happy, Raheem. I think you might be a United fan. And a good save from De Gea, actually. That save from De Gea from Jesus is better than it looks. He's made 2 good saves today, De Gea. Couple of substitutions for United then. Eric Bailly comes on and McTominay comes on. Fresh legs for the last 10 minutes. Get the job done. Brandon Williams comes off. I think that's a very good tactical decision from Ollie. Put Luke Shaw to the left. He has been run ragged, Williams there. And Martial comes off for McTominay. So we're parking that bus, people. We are parking a bus. We're not even going to have a striker on the pitch now. This was my fear with 13 minutes to go, that you park the bus and invite a lot of pressure. Well, you can say it's a joke of a club, but if we win, the tactics have worked really well and Pep's been done again. And City will struggle to get their way. City are going to struggle to break through these lines. We're basically playing a back five, 3 holding midfield players, an attacking midfielder, and Dan James. It's park the bus time. Funny thing is, Sterling used to support United as Luke Haynes. I think he's supporting us today. Wan-Bissaka man of the match as Pioth guy. He's been absolutely brilliant, Wan-Bissaka, to be honest. I think Wan-Bissaka has been great. I think Matic has been good. It's been hard for people like Bruno in a game where you're not getting much. There's not been a lot of attacking point from Manchester United. Martial, I think Martial's put a shift in. Oh, Maguire does well there, stretching his foot out. Dan James false 9, says MGT. Don't tell any jokes about false Dan James things. I think Dan James has been an effective part of a game plan today. His pace has been something that City have been scared of. Yes, he should have passed it back to Bruno Fernandes, but he also could have had a penalty. Those subs are awful, says JT Music. I get where you're coming from. But the reality is, I think we all would have took a 1-0 win today, wouldn't we? And at the moment, we're staring down the barrel of that. Maguire loses a header there. Luke Shaw, Fred. Oh. God, this is nervous. It's nervous times. I just don't want it to be what happened against Liverpool. Go on, Fred. Take the free kick. Play on. Oh, that was a foul on Fred before that. Ten minutes to go. Probably going to be about 4 minutes added on. So 14 minutes to go all in all. United, so many red shirts back. Surely we can keep them out. Then the one thing about City is they won't just whip it into the mixer. They'll try and pass their way through. Although Mendy does whip it into the mixer as soon as I say that. Good tackle, Wan-Bissaka again. Free kick. No, throw in. Come on. Massive chance of top 4. I mean, I think we'll beat Spurs next week, regardless of what happens today. But massive chance of top 4 if we can get over the line today. Now there's a chance, Dan. Run. Go on, keep going. Football intelligence. Yeah, it does well there. Oh, Bruno's offside. Bollocks. Good tackle there from Bailly. Well, I don't think United are going to score themselves, so it's going to be 1-0 or, dare I say it, 1-1. City on the attack again. Mendy, that's going to be way too heavy. And Luke Shaw, to be fair, does the sensible thing, puts it out for a corner, which we've defended very well from the corners so far. So squeaky, squeaky bum time. Poor corner. We'll have that again. Take another one. United. Morez into the box. Great tackle, Luke Shaw. What a player he has been these last month. Where would we be without people like Luke Shaw and Matic? Stepped up to the plate. Both have had their critics. Both have really come into this team and improved Manchester United massively at a time where they needed it. You can't take your eye off it. 5 minutes to go. Slide rule pass. Maguire should get there. And he does. He got a touch on the ball. I was a bit worried about a penalty there. He did get there. Absolutely essential. Jesus. And it's Maguire and Wan-Bissaka double. That's teamwork, that is. Another corner for Manchester City. Maguire. Second ball. Second ball. Fred. Take the foul. Nope. Super. Chucking it down with rain now. Manchester United 5 minutes away from 3 points. This would be a hammer blow not to get this now. Campbell Gaming's scared out of his life about this, but it would be an absolute hammer blow not to get it. Such a massive difference at this stage of the season between 3 points and 2. 3 points and 1. It's not about beautiful football now. We need wins for top 4, and if countering Park the Bus gets us there, great. Worry about style later, says Sean Vinity. I think we've been worrying about style for a year, mate. I don't think we should be moaning about it now. It's just something that we maybe we'll do one day, but in the immediate future, it's short term, like you say. We need to win. We need to get the 3 points. And I do think that chance that Sterling had was probably the chance. I know we've still got a 5 minutes to go, and they may carve another one opening, but I do feel that was the chance, and we may have rode out that storm. But how has Mendy got in here? Cross comes in, Maguire again, good block. United defending well. You've got to be careful about those give and goes. Rampage Gamer says he'd like to see Greenwood on for the last 5 minutes. I don't think we'll see a striker on for the last 5 minutes, mate. It's not been that sort of performance from United. It's definitely just about goal kick. Negative, yeah. Look, I don't dispute the fact that it's been a negative performance from Manchester United. I think we all agree with that, but I think we all would have took 1-0 at the start of the game. I don't think we can be waxing lyrical about the performance. Igalo is going to come on, actually, so he is going to make a change in a striking sense. Use a bit of time up. Intelligent. Bruno holding it up on the edge of the box. Keep it up there, Bruno. Keep it up there. Use a bit of time up. Intelligent. Breathe. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Match reaction coming up after this. Fan cams coming up after this as well. Ricky is going to be so happy with the Matic performance. Who's been your man of the match for Manchester United today? I think there's a few candidates, but I think it can't be Martial, Bruno or James because it's just not been that sort of game. I think your man of the match starts from midfield back because it's just been that sort of game. I've got two candidates for me. Bruno's coming off for Igalo. The quest here is, are we going to win battles or war, says Dipanshu Kumar. And it's a very, very good one as well. Surely we can't blow it from this point. I know Liverpool scored to make it 1-1, but we've had more attempts than Man City, and I think that's really important to say as well. I think City look like they're out of ideas now. Not over yet, says JT Music. Crap cross by Mendy, and that goes out for a throw into United. 88 minutes, 89 minutes. I thought Martial defended really well today as well, Johnny. It's nice to see a critic of him saying how well Martial played today. I wouldn't give Maguire man of the match. Not today, not for me. Wouldn't be my pick as a man of the match. I think at times he's looked a little bit suspect, but what a ball! This is it. Oh, wow! You got to give Ederson a bit of credit there. How quick he is off his line. 89 minutes. How long is he going to add on? McTominay. City. I tell you what. Come on. So much of the ball for City, but not really a cutting edge. But they're getting moved around. Wan-Bissaka man of the match, says Luke Haynes. Cross comes in. Sterling. Crap shots. It was also almost a pass back by Sterling, who I think he's going to pull off a shirt afterwards, and it's going to be a United or a Liverpool shirt, because that shot shit. The chance he had to tap it in to make it 1-1 about 15 minutes ago was crap. And 5 minutes. 5 minutes! What are you on about? A few people saying Matic man of the match as well. What a takedown by Igalo, that is. Magnificent. Fred, Luke Shaw, Igalo putting the graft in. City. Gundogan. United have got plenty back. City having to go sideways. What a terrible ball that. Mark, can you hear the kids in the background? Hopefully one day they will have the same passion about football and Man United one day. Love your content, says Andrew Chow. And coming with me, United 5. Sterling is a waster, worse than useless. I always think with Sterling, it really did surprise me how he had that season where he was world class, because I always think Sterling's quite an inconsistent player. Still 3 minutes to go. Dan James just run for the corner flag. Oh, come on. City driving forward again here. And United win it back. And they've given a free kick. No way! Matic isn't happy. Still 3 minutes to go here. City. Mendy. Cross. Maguire. McTominay. Cleared by B. Igalo. Now Fred. Weird pass. I think Fred's got to go for the corner there. You're just giving the ball. Pep's getting the flu after this game. Go United, says Philip Helsland. That's a terrible ball. Wan-Bissaka clears it. Agarlo gives it him back. He gets the bounce. Down the line. Down the line. Down the line. Go on, Matic. Oh. I just want someone to run for the line here. Surely we've got this. Surely we've got this. Ollie's going to beat Pep 3 times. I can't believe we've got a clean sheet against Man City as well. I mean, that's something, isn't it? If you get a clean sheet, this United team has always got a chance. 2 minutes to go. Match reaction, link in the video description straight after this. Hopefully it's going to be a 3 points match reaction. And player ratings and all that jazz. Fan cams to come as well. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Manchester United are about a minute and a half from this. City have done nothing. Their first touch has been terrible. We win a free kick. That should be it now. Just take as much as time as you can. It's like winning the ball in a rugby game and you've just got to see it out. McTominay's down as if he's hurt his ankle here a bit, but I think he's all right. Don't jinx it, Mark, says Luke Haynes. Underrated Bruno attribute. He's unbelievable engine, says Phil Jones. Matic has gone down as well. McTominay's all right, I think. Faking injuries, says Daniel Furnage. This is just going to be more added time, I'm afraid. Give all the players 10 out of 10, says Josh. No, you know what? I mean, look, I'll talk about it in the match reaction. I mean, there is a bigger picture here, and I think that you can't play like this. You can't play like this and be a successful football club. You can't. It's like you can't approach a game like this with 5 defenders and 2 holding midfielders and expect to go anywhere near Man City or Liverpool over a season. But you can win games like this on an individual basis. And United, we're trying to get 4th. We're not trying to get 1st. So the approach to today's game has worked. The Dan James thing worked, and United have come out with it with more chances than Man City have had in this game. It's not been pretty to watch. I mean, we've basically spent 45 minutes watching our side park the bus. That's what we've done, and we've seen a lot of that this season. But the way this season's going, we needed to get 3 points today. With Chelsea winning, we needed 3 points today, and that's what United have done. And is it a tactical masterclass to a certain extent? It is, because Man City haven't had the chances to say, oh, we deserve to get something out of that game. You've had the possession, but you haven't had the chances. So, and I think United can only be better with someone like a Marcus Rashford in the team. City have given up here now anyway. They're just pumping long balls up. Agarlo into Fred. Go for the corner flag, Fred. Dan James. No. Oh, here we go. McTominay. Yes! Scott McTominay! 2-0. What a finish. Edison with the assist. Pass it to McTominay. And what a way to win the game for Manchester United. Unbelievable scenes. Edison hands it up on a plate. And Manchester United, well, we've had steak, we've had chips, and now we have had some sauce. Scott McTominay makes it 2-0. Manchester United, when it's your day, it's your day. And it really has been Manchester United's day today. They've soaked it up all half, and they've beaten Man City again. For the second time in the league this season, Manchester United beat Man City. And Edison here, he throws it out to God knows who. And McTominay first time just says, I'm going to have some of that, and smacks it in. It's a good finish from McTominay. The game's probably over anyway, but to be fair, lovely finish by McTominay to add the icing on the cake. And Manchester United beat Manchester City 2-0. 2-0 after Chelsea won as well. Lovely stuff. McSauce with the goal. Andre Not the Giant says. I tell you what, Chelsea, we're coming for you. And Arsenal, you beat West Ham in a shit way and you think we're back in the top 4 race, and Chelsea and United go up yours. We'll go and beat Everton and Manchester City. Fantastic win for United. Pep drowned again. And United, well, look, it's been a good run since Bruno Fernandes came into the team. And Manchester United, Pep sits there stunned. I'll tell you what, Pep, I think your football's bloody boring, mate. I really do. I thought you were boring at Barcelona. I think you're boring here. And I think you're vulnerable. And I think that, you know, chances-wise, you can point to 92% possession if you want to. But Manchester United comfortably win. Pep doesn't look very happy. Manchester United win 2-0. 3 valuable points. Martial, absolutely ecstatic. He put in a shift today. He got a goal as well. McTominay comes on and gets the second goal. Superb display from Manchester United defensively. And Manchester United beat Manchester City 2-0. I'll be doing the player ratings on the match reaction. Links in the video description. Give me 60 seconds and we'll be digesting what has been an extraordinary win for Manchester United again. We fancied it. Everybody in the live comments before the game was going United to win. I think I went 2-1. Lots of people fancied it today. United, go and do it. I'll see you on the match reaction. Link in the video description. 60 seconds. Player ratings. Who was man of the match? And Ollie beats Pep for the 3rd time out of 4 this season. See you in a minute.